don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Political Spotlight, and I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. This is the 599th episode of the show. Can you believe it? I cannot believe it. Tomorrow is going to be the 600th episode of the Political Spotlight. Good Lord, I cannot believe it. It just doesn't seem real. It does not seem that that's possible, but we are here. We're running just a touch behind schedule, and I do apologize for that, but we're preparing some documents here. I'm attempting to get a couple things ready. We have a pretty big show on tap for you this evening, and we're gonna be looking at some interesting things. We're gonna be taking a look at some documents. So we're gonna be looking at some pictures. We're going to be looking at some video, and we're gonna be looking primarily at a long, full-length video, a deposition. And I want to let everybody know first, right up here at the very beginning, we're going to go through this deposition, and we're going to go in chronological order of the deposition. We're not going to like bounce around like I do sometimes when we do videos of council meetings or commissioners meetings or things like that. We're going to go in chronological order. But there are going to be times that I'm going to skip forward and maybe just jump past some things. And I give you my word, the points that we will be jumping past are either duplicates, like duplicate points that we will have either already been covered or will be covered later, or things that simply just do not matter. It's like saying, were you driving a red car to the gas station when you saw the car crash, or were you driving a blue car? It doesn't matter what color car you were driving. You were the witness, so that doesn't matter. So if we skip something, that will be the things that are skipped, either things that we've already heard, things that we will hear later, or things that just simply don't matter at any rate to anything. I will tell you, for those that say, he's lying, that Kristopher Bilbrey, he's a trickster, and I don't believe him, we are going to fully upload the deposition to YouTube. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm going to do it either this evening or maybe tomorrow, and it will be uploaded in the standalone static videos section, and it will be in the Sproles section of our YouTube page, and you will be able to watch it word for word, everything that I skipped over, so you'll be able to catch me if I'm lying to you. Okay, I promise you will not miss anything. So we're going to put it all out there. You'll be able to see it. The other thing is you'll be able to see the deposition without my commentary. If you don't like me, you don't like my fat, disgusting face, you don't like the points I make, you hate me, you hate everything I say, and you just want to hear it for yourself, we're going to give that to you because we like to please the assholes of the world. So let me tell you this. Also, I saw some comments coming in from either Alva or Eric. I don't have the comments on, so I can't tell. But someone asked if when we have this move again in the future, very soon here, if the light keepers will still be a thing. Yes, it's still going to be a thing. We're going to use the lighthouse in a couple of different ways moving forward, so that won't be lost. But for everybody, literally since I started Bilbrey walking around my yard in my underwear back when I had 5 people watching, all the way up through Bilbrey Live, Perception is Reality, through the other various live at 8:35, live at 9:35, and then the Bastards of Politics, and then now here where we are home. I have always wondered what to call the people that listen. I call you friends. I call you listeners. I hate when people say fans or followers because I'm nobody. I don't have followers. I'm not a cult leader. That's the first thing I always tell people. Well, don't call them followers because I'm not a cult leader, and they're smarter than that. I don't like the word fans. If you want to say, hey, we're a fan of yours or we're a fan of your work, that's cool. I like it. It's cool. When I'm, out with a significant other, or when I'm out with my grandparents or whatever, and someone says, hey, I'm a fan. All right, it's cool. Everybody likes to play Elvis every now and then. But I've never, like Rush Limbaugh had ditto heads, and there are all these different, blah, blah, this army and that army. I've got it figured out. The listeners of my program, of my content, of our show here, drum roll please, ladies and gentlemen, you are nobodies. The nobodies. The political spotlight nobodies. And I come up with that title the other day when I was talking with my grandparents, because all of our haters have wanted to say over the years and years, and you're going to hear Sheriff Sproles say it tonight, that we have no reach here, that nobody listens to us, that nothing, we have no reach, even though we hit 1.6 million views on our platforms in a 90-day window. 1.6 million views, Sheriff Sproles, in 90 days. But nobody listens. Nobody listens. Nobody. And it took me back to the great stories of the Odyssey, when they stab the Cyclops in the eye, and they're like, who put out your eye? The guy keeps saying, who is it out there? And he's like, it's nobody. And he's like, who put out my eye? And he says, nobody put out my eye. So I got to thinking, that's fantastic. You guys are the very powerful, very, very intelligent, smart, silent, or not silent, not so silent, loud, silent majority, but it's the strong nobody army. I love it. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. And you're the nobodies. And it's meant tongue-in-cheek, so, bear with us. You'll be fine. And maybe we can work on some merch for that and whatever. So if anybody ever asks you if you're who are you, you can just say, I'm a nobody, and that's how people will know you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So the other thing that I want to tell you all is we're going to watch a couple of things. And Cindy. So here's the thing. We're going to be watching some content tonight. And the thing is, you have to ask yourself what your values are, what your morals are, what your beliefs are as an American, what matters, what doesn't matter. Specifically, you need to ask yourself, is this the America that we truly want it to be, that we have hoped it'll be? Is the American dream alive here still today? I know there are a lot of things that call that into question. But do we believe in the value of hard work, of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, that kind of belief? That setting a goal and seeing a goal in the future and working to that goal. Do we believe things like that? Do we? Oh, I like that. Nobodies with KNOW. I really like that. That's good. So that's very, 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 very good. So do you believe that we can have a fall, have a stumble, and make a mistake, make 2 mistakes, make several mistakes, maybe have a point in our life where we make several mistakes over the course of years. And can somebody redeem themselves? Can somebody say, I'm living a life that I'm living a life that's not me. I'm making choices that are not me. I am better than this. I can be better than this. And can that person redeem themselves? Can that person find themselves in a place that they don't like seeing themselves? Can they look in the mirror and not recognize themselves? Can they be at rock bottom? And can they work out? Can somebody truly make something better of themselves? There are stories after stories after stories that we all love, that there are movies made of this and books written about this. We have a whole religion set on the idea of being a sinner, and that we are all fall short of the glory of God, and that we can ask for forgiveness from our Lord and our Savior, and that we can be saved, and that if we truly believe that and live in that way. And I'm not trying to preach to y'all. I'm just saying, this is something that a lot of people believe in. I'm asking you where you sit, where you stand, where you are now, depending on whatever you believe in. Do you believe that an American can have a second chance or a third chance? Can someone pull themselves up and become something better than what they were yesterday? I fully believe that. I fully believe in second chances. I believe in third chances. Now, listen, there are people out there, and there are things out there, and there are circumstances out there that they finally show us, like, look, hey, they're just not going to better themselves. And there are people that just won't. But if someone truly is, and if somebody really does the work, and is doing what they need to do, shouldn't that be something that we look to and we applaud? Shouldn't that be something that we say, damn, that's really tough. It's one thing to come from a perfect life and have a perfect family and have a perfect wife and have perfect kids, and who the hell has all of that? Even the people that have those perfect things don't have those perfect things. You know what I mean? But it's one thing to come from the perfect world and have the dream job and just live that perfect life and be like, that's good. That's wonderful. Hats off to those people. My applause to them. But to see somebody that has a fall and then, has like has like that catalyst of something that changes, and they decide they're going to do better, and they have this like hero type of arc. Now, look, I am not trying to quote unquote hero worship, bad behavior, and then someone, whatever. I'm not trying to be crazy here. I mean, people make mistakes, and people need to own up to those mistakes. But when they do that, and if they truly change, shouldn't we honor that and whatnot? And that's the whole thing. And one of the big things here, this is going to be a Sproles Watch story. I guess we should have put that up for the people that like to watch the different things about Henry County. This is definitely a Sproles Watch night. This is going to be a look into the mind of John Sproles. Okay. The way that John does things listen, I'm going to be honest. I truly believe, I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV. I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist. I'm not a counselor, but from my layman's point of view, he scares the hell out of me. And I don't mean that like giving him like, I'm not afraid of him, but he's a scary person. People of Henry County, I'm not fearful of him. I'm afraid for people of Henry County. I'm afraid for the men and women in his sheriff's department. I'm afraid for the people of his county. And I really worry that he is not all there. You know what I mean? And it's because of the way that he does things. Okay. So we're going to watch some videos here, and we're going to take a look at some of this stuff, and you're going to see a person. And listen, you might not like the things that you hear about this person. There might be things that you question. And no, I did not hear this. I will look into that. That's interesting. You might say, you know what? I don't trust that person. And we are all allowed to have our thoughts and our opinions. The thing that you have to ask yourself is, okay, you are free to have your opinion and your thought. John Sproles, even though he's an elected official, he is a citizen. He's an American. He doesn't lose those things. He still has the same rights that we all have. And he has the ability to have thoughts and opinions and feelings. And he can think any kind of certain way. However, the fact that John Sproles is in the position that he is in, and that people look up to him, should he be free to voice his opinion in a way that would be slanderous? Should he be able to write things that would be libelous? Should he be able to just openly cause hurt on someone's life, on someone's activity? Should he be able to defame another person just because of his core beliefs? And then we have to ask ourselves, is he in a position where he can truly pass judgment on others? Is he living a life that puts him above? Is he holier than thou? And in my true answer to that, I fully believe he is not. I believe that he lives a life that is far short from where he tries to hold others to. He doesn't like people using foul language. I don't like when people break the vows of their marriage. He doesn't like when people have a different color skin than, say, he or I. I don't like when somebody is a psychopath. There's lots of things. We can trade barbs back and forth on what we like or don't like. The bottom line is he able, or should he be able to hurt people because of his position? Should he be able to say these words, and because of these words, people lose jobs, or people be hurt in the community, or be hurt in their standing because people look to John Sproles and they think he's supposed to be somebody? So we're going to start out, before we look at John Sproles, we're going to start out taking a look at a man, and the man's name is Korey Alwood. I always screw his name up because I know people name Allred, and it's not Allred. It's Korey Alwood. And I want people first and foremost to know, okay, because Sproles has made these claims, and I want to speak to some of these claims. We're going to hear them, and we'll speak when the claims are made. I've seen pictures of Korey. I've seen some IDs. I've seen pictures he's posted. I've never seen or met Korey in person. We have never had a face-to-face meeting. I've spoke to him on the phone a handful of times. Okay. I honestly, even looking at the pictures, probably wouldn't be able to pick the physical person out of a lineup if I saw him in an actual physical lineup. Just, I've never seen the person in person. Okay. I don't know him really from Adam. We have talked and developed a acquaintanceship kind of in the phone call. I mean, I certainly wouldn't call him a friend, and I'm not saying he's not a friend because he's a bad person, or I'm not saying he's not a friend because I don't like him. We just don't know each other. Could we become friends? Certainly. Am I opposed to being his friend? Absolutely not. It's just the same way as you talking about someone that you've talked to just a handful of times. He's an acquaintance. He seems like a pretty straight dude. He seems like he's always been honest with me. He's been honest about his faults. He's been honest about his second chance at life. And I think it's a pretty interesting story. I don't know him. I don't owe him anything. If I felt like I needed to call him out about something, I most certainly would call him out. I don't owe him anything. He doesn't owe me anything. We don't know each other. I am doing this because I think that this is an interesting story, and this is something that people of Henry County need to know about. His attorney, Mark Nicholson, okay, is another gentleman that I have never met in person. Okay, never met him in person. Now, I know his sister. His sister's been on this program, Mary Nicholson, a very dear friend of mine. Love Mary. She's awesome. Mary and I are close. We talk to each other. We talk frequently. We belong in various Facebook message groups and communicate. We have very different beliefs on things, but we have a lot of beliefs that are the same. I love Mary. Mary is a great person, a great friend, someone I would do anything for. Do I know Mark? I know Mark. Mark is basically in the same boat as Korey. I don't know him. I've talked to him a couple times on the phone. Never met him in person. Mark is going to be on the show. Look here. Here's, I hope to be on your program too. Here's Mark Nicholson. Mark is going to be on the show a week from last Sunday. So he's going to be on the show on Sunday, February 8th. And that's going to be an interesting talk. And Mark is a good dude from what I've heard of him. But we're have been accused of being like these amazing friends or whatever, and having this relationship where we talk, and that's just not true. And again, am I opposed to being his friend? Absolutely not. Would I not be his friend? Absolutely. I would be his friend in a minute. And hopefully our acquaintanceship will grow into a friendship. We just don't know each other like that. So when we're accused of having this backdoor friendship and whatever, that's just simply a figment of Sproles' imagination. So first and foremost, I'm going to put up here a couple pictures. Oh, look here, Mary Nicholson, but I'm the cool one. And listen, as great as Mark is for right now, I probably have to agree with Mary just because we've been such good friends. I will probably have to agree with Mary for the time being, but we'll see what happens. So I want to show you guys a picture, okay? And the picture I want to show you is going to show you this this character arc here, kind of the from the bottom to the top kind of thing. All right, here is a picture of Mr. Korey Alwood. Okay, and both of these pictures, the main person in the picture is the same person. So the gentleman that is in the orange jumpsuit, and ladies and gentlemen, this neither one of these is a Halloween costume. Both of these are very real attire for this person. In the picture on the left, the man is in jail or prison attire, shackled. Okay, and he was a prisoner, a felon. And then the picture on the right is he is in some police getup and some police attire. And it's not like he was a police officer who got in trouble. It didn't go that way. He was a felon who became a police officer. And a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, I've heard that story. There's lots of cops that are felons. Well, yeah, that might be the truth, where they have maybe wobbled off and done some crazy stuff. That's not what we're talking about here today. The story that you're going to hear of Korey and what's happening here is basically a story of, and Mark will kind of get into this. We'll talk a little bit about this on the 8th, but just and be very clear. I am not a Korey Alwood historian or biographer, and I don't know all the gory details. Okay, we'll let his attorney get into that when his attorney's on, and do that. But there was a time in Korey's life where he had ran afoul of the law, and rightly or wrongly, it was what it was, and he did time. And he did time in prison, and he was a felon, and he did a good chunk of time. But while he was in there, and you know, what he was thinking is, this is not me. I want to do better. I need to get, this is not how my life is supposed to be going. And he didn't just say, well, you know, it sucks to be me. I wanted things to be different, but they aren't. And now I'm here, and I get out, and I'm a criminal. I'm a felon, and I've served time in prison, and I'm going to let that be the excuse for the rest of my life. No, he did what you're supposed to do. He lived the way that we're supposed to live. He said, I'm going to do better. And he chose to do that. He gave his life to Christ. He became saved. He put in the past his connections and things that maybe people would scoff at or shy away from, and he renounced all of that, and he went to work, and he started busting his ass, and he started going to school, and he started working with people, and he started doing better, and he wanted to figure out if there was a way in which he could be you mean the one where he's a police officer? Is that the one where it looks like he eats people? No, I definitely get it. That was like I said, hey, send me the picture of your best Hannibal Lecter impression. And he's like, okay. No, but he got out, and he wanted to make things better. And so he worked, and he worked, and he worked, and he worked. And his criminal record was able to be expunged. Now, I want to be very clear. In the state of Indiana, expungements don't just happen. It's not like somebody murders somebody back in the 70s and they get out and they don't murder anybody else and they don't get in trouble, and then in 2020 they get that expunged. Nope, you can't get murder expunged. You can't get sexual crimes expunged. You can get minor low-level felonies where there's not a lot of victims and you haven't hurt a lot of people. Minor felonies, and we can talk to the attorney about that when he's on, Mark Nicholson, when he's on next week, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But you have to have lived a clean life, and it's a pretty extensive time in between. And that expungement is there, okay? That expungement is there so that people can work to improve themselves and do better. I can give you another example of someone who was kind of in Korey's position, and some people know it, some people don't. And it would be very shocking. It's the prosecutor of Madison County. The prosecutor of Madison County found himself in a position where he was arrested and convicted of burglary and theft, and he went to prison. Did a little short stint. Got out, and through boxing, he met some police officers at the POW Club, and that slowly turned into a thing where he became a law enforcement officer. After the expungement, he went to law school, he became an attorney, and he became the prosecutor in the county. The chief law enforcement officer of each county is the elected prosecutor, and he did that. And so this is something that has happened in the past. It can be difficult to get expunged. Absolutely, that is true. So I want people to be aware of that things can happen. This is not unheard of. It doesn't happen all the time. Okay, it does not happen all the time, but it has happened. So when you see this picture, okay, and you look at this, okay, and you see this where you see the person on the left, the person on the right. Here's the deal. This person can very much be the same person and can feel different ways. And let's see, as Mary's saying, it's a story. And I was going to say that, but I want to I didn't want to spoil that story. I want Mark to be able to tell his story. So I'm not going too much into that, because I want to be able to give that story and let people be able to hear that. But that is also a very true story of Mark. Mark had some issues. Mark had done time in prison and worked to better himself very much in the same way. And I think that's what kind of brought these people together, and they had been friends and met each other and went through this process together. So we're going to get into this, and I want, yes, Cindy, that was not a validation of the prosecutor. I'm just saying that stuff does happen. The other thing here, I am fully aware that not everybody is going to like or agree the subject that we're going to be talking about this evening. I fully understand that. We don't block people. You're free to comment, say your piece. This is America. We allow people to have their opinion here. And I'm not specifically saying like this is a marking of, I'm giving this A+, this is a seal of approval from the political spotlight on anything. We're just telling a story of an individual that was at point A and is now at point B. If people want to have issue or take issue with any of the story or where the person is now or what the person did, you are free to do that. We're not going to stop you, and I'm not trying to sell you something that you don't want to buy. If you are not interested in buying the story that we are telling, that's perfectly acceptable. I have no issues, and it's just, to me, I look at this. To Korey, the story is about Korey. To Mark, the story is about Korey. To me, the story is about Sheriff Sproles and his behavior, and this is just one in many stories of how Sproles has done things improperly. So first up, I want to show you this. I want to show you this clip here really briefly. Give me 1 second here. I want to put this up here on the screen. I'm getting these out here from Kate. Okay. I want you guys to be able to see this story here. Give me 1 second. Okay. This is where we start.
Now to a story about second chances and how they can pay off in a big way. A former convict got his shot at redemption, and it's safe to say he ran with it. 21 Alive reporter Meg Rossler joins us with this story.
For Korey Alwood, 20 years behind bars was just one page of a larger story. From a prison cell to a badge and a uniform, he's not just protecting and serving, he's fixing relationships along the way.
I made a lot of bad decisions.
It was a DUI for Angola native Korey Alwood that he says changed the trajectory of his life.
I just continued to drive while suspended, started drinking more, just kind of let myself get out of control.
Former Steuben County officer Brad Durham was the one who put Korey in handcuffs.
A lot of the stuff that he did was just bad decisions, but it got him in enough trouble and he did enough of it that it took him to prison.
I did 20 years in prison, 12 years in solitary confinement.
All those years locked up gave him time to think.
Like, how can I make amends? How can I get other people to see what I've been through and not make them go through the same experience? That 1 second of one day can change your life.
That 1 second for Korey.
When I see one of my friends set himself on fire and kill himself because he could not do not one more day in there, is this going to be my life? And do I want to be him?
Just days after he got out of prison.
I get this phone call. He says, "Hey, Brad, this is Korey." And I'm like, "Korey?"
One lunch turned into a new friendship.
It's guys like Brad who drove that police car and took me to jail, but treated me like a human being and made a difference and saw that.
He tells me, "Hey, all those things that you were giving me advice when I was on the outside before I got arrested, I thought about that while I was in prison." And he says, "I want to be a cop."
And Korey did just that.
I rose my hand and took the oath to uphold and defend the Constitution and laws of Indiana as a sworn police officer.
Excited for Korey to begin this new journey, Brad found something to mark how far they both had come.
I was going through my
in this new journey.
And I want everybody to be aware here. This picture that you're seeing here is Korey speaking at the Indiana Sheriff's Association. And from everything that we have seen from the information that we've been able to find, the Indiana Sheriff's Association asked him to speak at this youth leadership camp here, apparently, if what this is. And so, you know, they're not just calling anybody up to do that. I mean, the fact that this is happening gives a little bit of credence to kind of the turnaround that's been made here. This is a professional association of the Indiana sheriffs and the deputy sheriffs that are in throughout Indiana. And this is it just, in my opinion, is this the end all be all? No, it just means this is another step showing, at this point, they were willing to put him on their agenda to hear, his story here. And so I just want people to be aware of that.
Ernie, Brad found something to mark how far they both had come.
I was going through my shirts and I found a shirt, and I happened to know that
it's not that. So David Williams, I don't understand what YouTube is doing to all of the names. Is this like our David Williams? Are you like you're the David Williams? The David Williams that's what am I, your uncle? Am I your nephew? I forget. You're my uncle. I'm your uncle. Is it that David Williams? I want to make sure that that's who you are. But second of all, so no, that's not Indiana law. That's what you're talking about is police departments that are involved with perf. So in the state of Indiana, if you're like for the Muncie City Police Department, you have to be hired on or before your 36th birthday. If you are not hired on or before your 36th birthday, you cannot be hired. But for the Sheriff's Department, that is not true. And because they're in a different system for small towns, like for example, Yorktown or Selma, Eaton, Albany, or for like Kennard in Henry County, Caddis, and Moreland, places like that, that same thing does not apply. So they can absolutely be hired after that same 36-year-old date does not apply.
That I was wearing that shirt the day that I arrested him. And I thought, this is a good reminder, because of all the shirts, that one is going to mean the most to him.
Brad says seeing Korey's dedication to serve is remarkable.
He never wants to stop where he's at.
I want to be the cop that pulls up, and I understand instantly when I get there what you're going through or what the different perspectives can be.
And on Korey's third day at work, that proved true.
And I watched the guy throw his backpack and jump up on the bridge, where it's 200 feet below is 4 lanes of semis going 70 miles an hour.
Korey was able to save the man's life, just like Brad had saved him before.
I love you, and I know it ain't over, buddy. It's just the beginning. Just the beginning for you.
And the thing about Korey is you can just tell, sitting there with him, how thankful and grateful he is for every single opportunity that he's been given.
He is setting such a beautiful and inspirational example for so many of us, all of us. And I know that you were just over the moon about the opportunity to get to do this story. Those are the true blessings in our work.
Second chances are possible.
Yes.
And Korey proves just that.
You did a great job telling this.
All right, so there's that, ladies and gentlemen. This is just a little bit of an understanding of who we're talking about, because what you're going to do here now, we're going to go into this deposition, and you're going to hear Sproles talking about this man, and you're going to hear him saying, "Oh, he did 20 years." Yes, he did. Nobody is saying he didn't do that. He did do that. You're going to hear Sproles say, well, he was a member of the Aryan Brotherhood. Yep, he was in prison. He was part of a gang and all of that. The problem is, back when, and people who've been watching for a while will remember, back when Sproles was going through this deal where he was fighting the small town cops. And listen, I'm going to say right now the same thing that I said back when, and that is there are issues on police departments. And I don't care if you're talking about LAPD, you're talking about New York City Police Department, you're talking about Indianapolis IMPD, you're talking about Muncie, you're talking about Yorktown, Daleville, Eaton, you're talking about Caddis, any small town, county, big size, there are issues. You have people You have people who are getting badges for the wrong reasons. That happens all the time. We highlight some of those people, okay? It tends to happen a little bit more frequent in small town departments, but that does not mean all small towns are bad, all small towns are wrong. You just have to use some common sense, and we have to approach it and things, you kind of have to understand. And that's hilarious. What the irony of this guy being a convict and then becoming a cop, and the possibility of Sproles being a police officer and becoming a convict. That would be something very, very interesting. So yeah, that's very very interesting. So this guy's not running for sheriff. He's not running for sheriff. That's not the issue here. The issue here is, should an elected sheriff be able to commit defamation on this person? And that's something that you guys have to decide. And a judge will decide, because there is a lawsuit. There is a lawsuit currently pending between Korey and the sheriff, because Korey filed a lawsuit after Sproles went on a little bit of a tour in which he was doing what he could to attempt to defame Korey and others. But Korey is the person who brought forward the lawsuit because of the way that this this was going through. Okay, so, and I also want to be clear that, to my knowledge, and we can get clarification on this, but I don't believe that Korey is or was a member of the Greensboro Police Department. I don't think that was. I don't think that he was. I think that someone had asked or they had looked into that, but I don't believe, in my knowledge, that Korey is or was involved with the Greensboro Police Department. Okay, here's the lawsuit between Korey Alwood and Sheriff John Sproles, 48C06-2503 CT 42. And you can see it's been active for a while and they're fighting it. Well, back in November, a deposition was taken. And the deposition is what we're going to watch a little bit of now. Okay. And for whatever reason,
is recording.
I don't understand why. When Sheriff Sproles does his depositions, he doesn't do them in an office setting. He does them from his vehicle. I know that when he was deposed in our lawsuit, the First Amendment lawsuit, that he also did the deposition from his car. I think he had a flat tire during the deposition. He was like driving. It was just a very weird situation. At least he's parked this time, but we do see the shotgun right over his shoulder. And isn't that interesting? What I want you to watch here with the sheriff, what I want you to watch is I want you to see the way that Sheriff Sproles interacts in this interview. I want you to listen to what he says. I want you to see how combative he is. And I want you to watch just his train of thought. That's what matters in this story. You don't like Korey, you don't want to like Korey, that's fine. That's on you. I get it. That's cool, whatever. I'm not trying to sell Korey to you. You know, I get the women in that thing. It's all flowery, whatever. I'm a realist. I get it. It's not going to be for everybody, and I'm cool with that. The story that we are looking at here is what is going through the mind of the man who is the sheriff of Henry County, who has a badge and who has a gun, and who has the ability to take your life, to take your freedom. Absolutely wild what goes on in this man's world.
I'm attorney Mark Nicholson.
Tim, you can always watch the deal when we
Thursday,
upload it at some point. No one's forcing you to be here, bro.
2025. The calls number 48C as in Charlie 06-2503 CT 000042. And can you go ahead and state your name?
I'll start with me. This is Michael DiRienzo.
So they go
I'm
through
attorney
the
for
standard
Sheriff John
questions,
Sproles
spelling their
in this
names,
cause
doing all of
matter.
that stuff. We're going to jump through that.
Come in. Mr. Sproles.
Yes, sir. It's S as in is M-A-R.
I-C-H.
Thank you. Can you state your duties as sheriff of Henry County?
To oversee the operations of the Henry County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you served as sheriff?
I have served since January 1st of 2023.
Have you received any training or guidance on communicating with the media or public regarding ongoing matters?
No specialized training that I can recall.
Are you familiar with Indiana's defamation or privacy laws?
I don't have any in-depth familiarity with them, no.
Before today's events, have you ever been accused of making public statements, defamatory public statements about another officer?
Not that I can recall.
Have you ever taken a deposition before?
I have.
And how many times?
I can't recall.
When were you first elected as the sheriff of Henry County?
I took office January 1st, 2023. I can't remember the date of the primary and general election exactly. Primary was in May, and
That's true,
the general
Admiral.
would have been in November of 2022.
And have you consistently been the sheriff since what you said, January 21st,
I
2023?
have. Yes.
Have you held any other employment since being a sheriff of Henry County?
I have not.
And when does your term expire?
It expires December 31st, 2026. At the end of the day. So maybe it expires January 1 of 2027.
That's
Do you
true.
plan to run for office?
I don't know if that's relevant. I plan to, though. Yes.
Have you done anything to prepare to run for office?
I'm going to object.
Wait. I don't know if anyone else can see the bottom of the screen, but when the comments pop up, I can't see it. What do you mean the bottom of the screen? Like put a comma up. You mean like that, just over the face, over the view? Yeah, there's no real other way to do it. We try to keep it as quickly as possible. It's not really affecting anything. I will if he's doing anything specific, we'll try to cut that back.
You can answer, John.
Yeah,
this is very important. So listen, when we get into whether this guy's lying or not, okay? And I want to be very clear about this because I'm sure, I know that there's going to be people that's going to be mad about this. The point of what we're doing here is we're going to watch this. I'm going to play things. We're going to stop and we're going to talk about it. As I said at the beginning of this, and people may have came in later, I am going to upload this deposition as it sits free of any commentary. So you will be able to watch it if that's what you choose to do. This is a commentary show. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. The question was, are you going to run for sheriff? Meaning, are you, this was taken back in November of 2025. So just a couple of months ago. And the question is, are you going to run for sheriff? And the sheriff said, the sheriff said, I don't know that this is relevant, but yeah, I think the follow-up question is, have you done anything to campaign for that or started campaigning for that? And it's interesting because the sheriff beats around the bush with this, but then he says no. Well, that's interesting because that puts him in direct contradiction to what he said as a defense against my lawsuit for the last 2 years. Okay. That's very interesting and very telling because as a defense, he said the reason he was able to quote unquote block me and he should have been able to block me is because it wasn't a government page, but it was his ongoing campaign page. So if he has had that ongoing Facebook page that is a campaign page, right now he's a liar both ways, one way or the other. He's trapped in a box. He just lied to Mark or he lied to my attorney. And what he said to my attorney was under oath. And what he's saying to Mark right now in a deposition is under oath. So that's very interesting. He's lying one way or another here. Very, very, very interesting. I saw that. That's Joe. That's amazing. And yes, Sir Baldwin, I very much agree. And I just want to be very clear. I thought of that thought completely of my own accord and had zero help in thinking of that thought. So I just want to thank myself for that thought. No, it did come from our wonderful friend and third half of the program here, although he's like a ghost, Brandon Rudd.
Not that I can recall specifically.
That's a lie.
Prior to you, oh, you said you don't recall doing anything?
Nothing specific that I can recall.
Brandon.
Prior to you becoming the sheriff, did you have any prior law enforcement?
I did.
What was
You're
that?
good, bro.
I was a full-time deputy with the Henry County Sheriff's Office.
And prior to that?
I had been a reserve deputy sheriff prior to being a full-time deputy sheriff, which was prior to me becoming the actual sheriff.
And where were you? You said a reserve?
I was reserve with Henry County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, and how long was that?
I was sworn in on my 21st birthday, and I can't recall the exact amount of time, a couple years approximately the first go around. Got back on the reserves approximately the first part of 2017 and was hired full-time in March of 2019. So about...
Okay, prior to becoming a douchebag, I want to be very clear here. The sheriff was a reserve back on his 21st birthday. He was reserved for a couple of years, and then he left. And then he became a reserve again in 2017, and then he was hired in 2019. He became sheriff on January 1st of 2023. So he was hired full-time sometime. Let's go back here. He was hired
the first part of 2017 and was hired full-time in March of 2019.
So March of 2019, he's hired. March of 19 to March of 20, 1 year. March of 21, March of 22. Okay. And so then he became sheriff in January of 2023. So he became sheriff with 3 years and 8 months or so, whatever, 10 months of experience. Just, I want everybody to hear that, because there were people that actually did not believe that, did not know that, okay? That when I was saying like, hey, he'd only been a sheriff for 3 years, that's legitimate truth.
So about four-ish to 5 years of reserve work, and then
all right, we're gonna jump forward here.
23 as full-time, and then the sheriff after that. But patrolman.
And so you were full-time for about a couple of years before you became sheriff?
That's correct.
And when was that?
I believe I went in January of...
Went to the Law Enforcement Academy.
2020.
Ever worked for law enforcement anywhere other than, I think, Henry County? It sounds like you just mentioned Henry County.
Yeah, I worked for a very short time for the town of Caddis. I went from there to the
Caddis,
Sheriff's
Henry
Office.
County.
And was this a part-time?
Yeah,
full-time?
We're still dealing with Caddis.
Okay. And what's the highest level of education?
Just high school, 12th grade.
Yes, Lindsay.
And
yes.
Have you been sued before?
I guess you could answer that question, couldn't you? I think you've got about 15 or 20 of them in so far.
Is that for real? Is this guy a professional? Like, look, look. Here's the deal. Yeah, he's a rookie. He's a professional rookie. He is the permanent FNG. Listen, I want to be very clear. I am a smartass when I can be. if there's lawyers I don't like, or if I'm dealing with something like in this situation, dealing with like if I had the sheriff's attorneys were grilling me or whatnot, they didn't even depose me. But if that was happening, I would try to get in a little barb here or there, professionally, respectfully, being a smartass. But he's the sheriff of a county, and he's being a smartass.
So is that a yes?
That would be a yes, correct.
Okay. And let me back up a little bit.
Yes, Melissa.
Are you on any medication that prevents you from telling the truth today?
Listen,
I am not.
Okay. Are you?
I want you guys to understand this. Yeah, take that. Here we go. Look at his face right here. This, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this or not in law, on the stand when you are an attorney, if you are a witness in a case, if you're a police officer, if you're just any kind of witness that's testifying, if you're in a deposition. A lot of times, if the police are interviewing you in an interrogation room, a question will come up a lot of times like this. Are you on any type of prescribed medication currently right now? Just prescribed medication for any reason, yes or no? Are you on any illegal substances? Yes or no? Are you an alcoholic? Are you have you drank before coming into this? Have you taken medication coming into this? Are you on anything that would prevent you from being able to clearly hear and understand this? Are you on any medication that would prevent you from being able to fully reason and make decisions and to answer truthfully? Those are normal, generic questions that I know because I have been a police officer. I have been in court. I have worked in the prosecutor's office, and I'm aware of how attorneys, law enforcement officers, what I did when I was interviewing individuals. I'm aware of what goes on. Sproles should know this, but he gets so irate. He gets so irate at this question, and it sticks in his mind for the remainder of the depot. He's beside himself. And I'm going to be really honest. The thing that I believe is, okay, I fully believe that the reason he's so mad is that he is on some form of medication. Again, I am not a doctor. I am not his doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not an MD. I'm not a nurse practitioner. I in no way treat, and this is just my own opinion based off of his behavior and stories I've heard. I think that he's offended for a reason, but watch how far he takes this.
Suffer from any mental or physical disability that prevents you from telling the truth today?
I am not.
Are you on any unprescribed medication that would prevent you from telling the truth today?
I am not.
Thank you.
It comes up throughout the rest of the...
Are you aware of any specific written job description for the sheriff?
Written job description from what source, I guess?
Any source about your job description, or you just make it up as you go?
So Indiana statute has requirements for the duties to be performed by the sheriff of each county of Indiana.
Are you familiar with those?
I am.
And do you follow those?
To the best of my ability, I follow all applicable laws and requirements.
Does it mention anything in regards to talking to the media?
I don't recall.
Do you operate a Facebook page?
I do.
And how many Facebook pages do you operate? Just one?
I operate the official Henry County Sheriff's Office page and 2 other personal ones.
What are they called?
John Sproles, Henry County Sheriff, and John Sproles.
He's inside a car. It's sunny.
You're
Hurting his
responsible
eyes.
for posting what's on those 3 Facebook pages, correct?
I am, and I believe I have an old Facebook page I haven't operated for years, but may still be active. Sproles Corporation.
And on one of those Facebook pages, you posted the town marshal scam scheme.
Yes, I did.
I hate that term.
And Facebook removed that?
That is accurate.
Now, listen, this is insane to me. First and foremost, this is about Korey Alwood. Nothing here in this entire deal has anything to do with Kristopher Bilbrey. Mark just asked him, did Facebook remove the video that you posted about the town marshal's scam scheme, which is just a stupid phrase. Every time I hear somebody say it, I want to punch Sproles. Figuratively, not literally. He came up with that stupid thing. It's insane. Here, we're going to hear it again.
Yes, I did.
And Facebook removed that?
That is accurate. Facebook did remove that.
Do you know why?
I don't object to the relevance of the question.
I also want to be clear for people who've never done depositions before. There's not a deposition. The reason that a deposition is taken is so that you've got both attorneys are present, and it's based on whichever attorney called for the deposition. So Mark called for the deposition. He's asking questions of Sproles. Sproles' attorney can ask questions either later on if he wants, or he can ask Mark, and he can ask him questions if he wants. Generally, he won't, but he can object, and that objection will be noted in the record. This will be printed out in an official document. But this is used so that both sides are going to know what the witness is going to say if they go to court, and so it's used to kind of know what's happening. And if they get up there and they say something different, it's also very bad. So that's what this is. So there will be times where Mark will ask a question, his attorney will object, but then John has to answer anyways. So it's just to be noted in the record. It's not the same thing as objecting in court and the judge says, okay, that's, sustained, overruled, whatever. This is a little bit different, just FYI.
Good answer.
Because I think there was a false claim made by your friend Kristopher Bilbrey about it being wrongfully used, even though he asked everybody to share it as much as possible.
Your friend Kristopher Bilbrey. Listen to me here. John Sproles, this is the problem with John Sproles. He's a liar, flat out. He doesn't tell the truth. He looks for these little word games and he plays these things. So Mark said, did you post a video called the Henry County Town Marshal Scam Scheme, blah, 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 on Facebook? Yes. Did Facebook remove it for some reason? Yes. What was that reason? And he says, because there was a false accusation by your friend, Kristopher Bilbrey. Okay. And I don't know where he's getting that. So what he says is, he says, even though he asked everybody to share it as much as possible. I do ask you guys to share my videos. I do ask viewers to share my videos. Share the show with everyone you know. I say it every night. Share the show with everyone you know. Okay? It's rhymes. It's cute. It's what I say. What I did not ask any of you to do, and I will never ask any of you to do, matter of fact, I will get really heated when and if you do it. I did not ask you to take any of my videos and edit them in such a way that the portion of the video that you are now uploading is a different context than what the message of the video is. If you want to take a video of mine and you want to cut it down into 10-minute clips, 5-second clips, 15-minute clips, whatever you want to do, have at it. But number one, do not change through your editing the story being told. Do not do that. I have a problem with that. Do not take out my watermarks, the political spotlight, me, my face, or any of our stuff. Do not do that and attribute the video to our channel. Otherwise, it's content theft. It's copyright infringement. So don't do that. I'm fine if the sheriff here wants to share our shit. Have at it. What he did was he took a video, he took time to edit the video, he edited any of our content out, and then he edited the video in such a way that the quick little clip no longer told the story that was actually being told. It told the opposite of. So I did not complain. I did not complain. Brandon Rudd, a member of this channel, complained. And Kate Thornburg, a member of this channel, complained. I didn't complain. So first of all, John was wrong on that. Second of all, it wasn't false because Facebook took it down. Facebook said, yep, this is copyright theft. And he took it down. So the sheriff lied right there. He lied right there. The insurance company is Travelers. It's the insurance company that dropped the county. Unfortunately, they have to work for the sheriff to resolve any claims that happened prior to them dropping the county. So they hate Sproles too.
Okay, so your statement is that Kristopher Bilbrey made a false claim against you and Facebook took it down. Is that what you're saying?
Again, objection to the relevance of the question.
Yeah, so you asked me what I understood to why it came down, and that's what I understand of the reason to why it came down.
Okay, and you also said he's a friend of mine. What makes you say that?
Just seeing interactions between the two of you.
What interaction?
I don't know what that means. Mark asked him here wonderfully, but I've never been to dinner with the man. I've never hung out at his house and watched boxing. You know, we've never helped each other fold our underwear. Yeah, I don't know. I've never had any interactions with this guy. Not that I'm opposed to having interactions with this man, but Mark from time to time has commented on our content like he's doing tonight because he has family in Henry County. He's from that area and he's very interested. He has clients that are involved with this and he is interested in this. Besides being an attorney, I would call Mark a bit of a political activist in some form. And so he's interested in things like this and making sure that people are doing the right thing. And so he's commented on our content. He's shared some of our content. We've shared some of his content. But I do that with hundreds of thousands of people. And I'm not best buddies with them all. Again, I would be friends with Mark in a minute. No problem. You know, maybe a friendship is growing. We're just acquaintances, though, so I don't know where he's going with this.
Have you seen between me and Mr. Bilbrey?
I'm going to object to the relevancy of this question.
People's helper. All right, I appreciate that.
Go ahead and answer, sir.
Yes. He listen, he does everything he can to dance around defaming me in this interview. You are spot on. That does happen.
And Mr. Bilbrey.
I'm going to object to the relevancy of this question and ask.
Go ahead and answer, sir.
No, it's not relevant at all. So I don't need to answer something.
Sir, I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I'm not.
I would appreciate if you answer. You've made a claim by saying that I am friends with Kristopher Bilbrey and you've seen us together. So please tell me where you've seen us together.
You recorded that, and I've never said that I've seen you together. So yeah, you
I'm
go
sorry,
back and listen to your recording.
Okay, I apologize. I think you're correct. I believe what you said was interactions.
I know I'm incorrect.
Okay. Well, tell me how you know we're friends then. Tell me that.
Again, objection to the relevancy of this question. You can answer, John.
Well, from the content that you post on social media that is directly in line with the content of Kristopher Bilbrey, and so I've seen your post. You are referenced. He references you a lot. He references you as his friend and attorney. That's for him.
I have never. Mark Nicholson has never represented me. I'm not opposed to Mark Nicholson representing me in the future, and if and or when that is needed. I hope I'm never in another lawsuit in my life. Love attorneys, have a lot of respect for them. There's a lot that I don't love, and there's a lot that I don't have respect for. Mark Nicholson is one of them that I do respect. If I have a lawsuit that requires assistance, I would have no problem going to Mark and hiring him. He is not on retainer. He's not part of the legal team here that we currently are using. He's never represented me in court. He's never sent a letter to the sheriff's department for me. What about Jane?
The one who likes to call you a pedo.
Oh, well, that would be interesting. Yeah, we could use him for that. Yeah, I guess I forgot all about that. That's something that we're still dealing with, but that's a very good possibility. The point is, at the time this question was being asked, Mark Nicholson had never represented me, so Sproles is just off his rocker.
And like I said, I've watched your content. I saw your content when for months you had up a picture of another officer thinking it was me. So that's how in tune you were to the situation.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
And I want to talk about that for a second. There was a time where Mark put up a video, and in the video he had I think it was just a stock footage. Oh no, you know what? It might have been another picture of another law enforcement officer from Henry County that he put up as Sheriff Sproles. It was up for like a very short period. Mark fixed it, and it wasn't a big deal. The story was the same. It was just the picture was wrong. It's not a big deal, but Mark thinks that he's got some kind of moral victory over Mark because he used a wrong picture. It's like that really had nothing to do with anything. And you're right, Eric.
And the comments about me being racist and
yeah,
Bilbrey, you guys make the same type of comments. I've read them.
Okay, so are you racist?
No, absolutely not.
Do you have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood?
Objection, relevance, inflammatory, and argumentative.
You go ahead and answer.
Do I have a problem with the rephrase or repeat that?
Look at how flustered he gets here. Mark says, "Are you racist?" And he says, "No, absolutely not." And then Mark goes in to, "Do you have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood?" We're all aware what the Aryan Brotherhood is. Listen, I feel like this is again in line with the questions that Steve Brown was asking Sproles in the CBS interview when Sproles made all of those wildly racist statements and said he didn't have a problem. I don't have a problem with people from the bush. It's like he just makes things so much worse. He doesn't say, I don't have a problem with anyone. I don't have a problem with people that are black. I have no issue. He doesn't say things like that. He's like, what? Am I racist? Am I racist? No, my wife's got plenty of black friends that drives our cars and cleans our house. This is absolutely 1000% John Sproles to a T. Are you racist? What? Am I racist? What? What do you mean? I resemble that remark. Then they go on to, do you have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood? Now, if I had been hit in the head with a pole that had went from the front part of my skull to the back part of my skull and half of my brain had been removed, I feel like if someone would let's pretend, Kate, pop up here for a second if you could.
Okay.
You be Mark, okay? And I'll be an intelligent John Sproles, and you ask me if I have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood.
Do you have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood?
I absolutely have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood. It's a known gang in America and American prisons. I'm against any of their criminal behavior and activity. Yes, any group or individuals or group that would be involved in criminal activity, I absolutely, as a law enforcement officer and just as an American, have an issue with the Aryan Brotherhood and anyone else acting in that form. It's a very easy question to answer. Did you think it was weird when you heard him do this?
It's been 20 seconds. His attorney has objected for relevance.
Yeah.
And inflammatory. Did he forget the question?
Yeah, right. It's like
because do you have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood?
Yeah.
I think he's trying to figure out how the question was worded.
Yeah.
So he can figure out what the correct answer
answer should be. Yeah.
So he wants to hear it worded again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he can find the right answer.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because depending on how that's worded, it might be no, it might be yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think he wants to know the specific wording so he makes sure that he gets the right answer.
Yes. Yes. So
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Maybe he answers it right. I don't know.
Yeah. But
very strange.
It should be pretty easy.
Yeah, right. Should be very easy. Here we go.
An answer.
Let's hear it.
In Brotherhood?
No, absolutely not. And Chris Bilbrey, you guys make the same type of comments. I've read them.
Okay, so are you racist?
No, absolutely not.
Do you have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood?
Objection, relevance, inflammatory, and argumentative.
Go ahead and answer.
Do I have a problem with the repeat that question?
I said, do you have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood?
The Aryan Brotherhood, I don't have a problem with any group per se, as long as they're not committing crime. So do I have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood if they're not doing wrong things? Not a problem at all.
If they're just talking, if they're just sitting around, look, hey, listen, if they're just sitting around talking about hating on some colored folk, I don't got a problem with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They could sit around and talk their hate. I got no problem. If they're not out committing crime, if they're not out dragging people down the road and walking through with that hate, I ain't got no problem. This is what this idiot doesn't understand. The Aryan Brotherhood, they live, the Aryan Brotherhood is a criminal organization. That's the other thing, Mark. That's the other thing. That blows my mind when Michael up here says whatever he says, objection. I am convinced that this other attorney up here, this guy up here, is working on other cases. He's working Sudoku. He's not listening. He's forgot where he's at. He's hoping or wishing somebody was poking him in the eyeball with needles. He does not know what's going on. That's exactly. I am confused because he says, like, this is not relevant. It's exactly relevant. Sproles talked about Korey being a part of the Aryan Brotherhood. That is very relevant. Blows me away.
As long as they're not committing crime. I don't have a problem with any group per se, as long as they're not committing crime. So do I have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood if they're not doing wrong things? Not a problem at all.
All right.
Mark,
When did
your
you first hear?
videos, there it is.
I'm sorry.
Your video cut out for a second.
Oh, mine did?
Yeah, you're back up.
All right. When did you first hear the name Korey Alwood?
Mark, is Mr. Alwood joining us on the video?
He is. Yeah, that's him right there.
Well, hold on.
Mark
We will go back and listen to it.
Do I have a problem with the Aryan brother? The Aryan Brotherhood.
I said, do you have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood?
The Aryan Brotherhood. I don't have a problem with any group per se, as long as they're not committing crime. So, do I have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood if they're not doing wrong things? Not a problem at all.
Mark,
when did you first hear?
There it is.
I'm sorry.
Your video cut out for a second.
Oh, mine did?
Yeah, you're back up.
All right. When did you first hear the name Korey Alwood?
Mark, is Mr. Alwood joining us on the video?
He is. Yeah, that's him right there.
Is Mr. Alwood in the room with us?
He's not asking any questions or anything like that.
You need to identify him as a participant in the deposition, just like if we were in your office and he was sitting next to you.
Yes, Eric.
And yes, Korey.
Listen,
Korey Alwood.
Sproles is like, wow, oh my God, he's here. What in the hell? What? I can't believe it. This is not, yeah, Mary. This is not crazy. What did they think this black screen up here? You know, that's probably the thing. It's a black screen. So John just didn't look at it. Had the screen been white, he might have looked at it, but because it's a black screen, he paid it no mind. But what did they think that was up there? You're muted. You're muted. What?
Sproles' delight wasn't that, oh, Korey's in the room listening to all this. I think the delight was, oh, he didn't announce him at the deposition. So the whole thing goes in the trash.
Look, the black man messed up.
Yeah, the black man messed up.
Listen.
We'll have to call the Aryan Brotherhood.
Yeah. They're so helpful like that.
Yeah, right. Mark says the words are white. So, like, why didn't he understand? Listen, I'm going to tell you, in watching this, I looked and I was thinking he's far more adversarial to Mark than John Sproles was a complete douchebag and an idiot in the deposition in my case, but my attorney was white. Like, I think listen, and I know we're being kind of funny and being stupid and kind of taking the piss because John is an idiot and that's what you do with racists, okay? But I really think that this is more adversarial because, listen, I can't think of why it would be more adversarial. I have no clue why this would be more adversarial. There's no reason for it to be more adversarial other than the fact that Mark is a man of color. I don't understand.
Is there? I don't know if you can see the
look how happy he is.
KOREYALWOOD. Yeah.
And can I ask him a preliminary question?
Who?
Mr. Alwood. I'd like to know if there's anybody else in the room or listening with him.
I don't even know if he even heard you. I don't know if you heard him. There was no one else in the room with him.
Okay. Proceed.
When did you first hear the name Korey Alwood?
I can't recall.
You say that the Indiana State Police told you about Mr. Alwood. Who specifically provided you that information?
If I remember correctly, that would have been Chris Martin.
You know how to spell his name or her name?
It's a male. I believe it's K-R-I-S. Common spelling on the Martin, M-A-R-T-I-N.
Hey, you asshole. KRIS is common spelling for Chris, too.
He's a sergeant with the state police.
And what did he tell you about Mr. Alwood?
I can't recall all that he told me about Mr. Alwood.
Was this in person or email, phone?
It was in person.
What brought Mr. Alwood's name up?
Chris Martin brought Mr. Alwood's name up.
About what?
Chris Martin requested a meeting with me and came to my office and brought up Mr. Alwood. First time I'd ever heard. That was the first time I'd ever heard of Korey Alwood.
And was this meeting to talk about Korey Alwood?
Obviously, yes.
Okay. So prior to you having this face-to-face meeting with him, how did he communicate with you to set up this meeting?
I can't recall that.
Did you receive any emails from Chris Martin?
Not that I recall, but I could have, but I'm not recalling them. I believe you've requested those.
We did, and we didn't get anything.
Yep,
so did you look for them?
Yes. When people make requests, we do look for them.
Okay.
So
What did you do?
I do not specifically do that.
What did you specifically do to find out if you had any communications in regards to your conversation with Chris Martin and yourself?
Yeah, so I would have given access to my my electronics, such as email, to our IT guy, and they would run the appropriate searches that were requested.
Okay, you said I would have. I want to know what you actually did.
That's what I did.
Okay, can you provide documentation that you did that?
You can request that, and we can provide whatever as we have, but we'll be happy to provide whatever documentation that you lawfully request and is required of us.
We did request it and we didn't get anything.
Well, that would be because I probably didn't have any email communication with Chris Martin.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your communication trying to get this information that you just described.
I'm going to object to the extent that you're mischaracterizing the facts and the scope of your request.
Well, you said that the request was overbroad when I was asking for all this information. Now you're saying I didn't ask for it. So what I'm asking you now, Sheriff, is the communication that you're
again. To my knowledge, Korey Alwood does not live in Henry County, so he's not running for sheriff in Henry County. I don't know where he does live. I don't believe he's running for sheriff. This is not about a political campaign. People in the comments are talking about that. That's kind of a joke, obviously, because regardless of whether someone feels that Korey Alwood should be sheriff or not, John Sproles definitely shouldn't be, and he is up for re-election, and hopefully he gets beat. There are a number of candidates that are running against him. Korey Alwood is not one of those candidates, and even when the filing deadline is over on Friday at noon, Korey will not be a candidate for sheriff in Henry County. So for everybody that's saying like, hey, he shouldn't be sheriff, never fear. He is not going to be the elected sheriff of Henry County. He will not be.
Saying you had with your IT guy to get these documents, can you provide that to your attorney so your attorney can provide it to us?
So we communicate very much in person, just like myself and the state police officer communicates very much in person. That very likely could have been a, hey, can you get this taken care of? So, whether all communication is not in electronic form, as you know.
Well, what format did you talk to your IT guy?
I can't recall.
And if the person is setting up a meeting with you, Chris, ISP Sergeant, how is he setting it up with you in person if he's meeting you in person? If you're saying that there's no communication, it was all in person, why is he setting up a meeting with you to meet in person?
So for those, I get Mark's question, and look, and to be fair, I'm gonna give a couple points to Sproles too. I've been a police officer, and I understand what Sproles is saying, and I get what Mark's saying. Mark's saying like, wait a minute. So if you and Chris were talking face to face, while you were talking face to face, why did Chris say, hey, by the way, we're having such a good conversation here. Can we set up a meeting to talk like this next week? I get what Mark's asking, but I get what Sproles is getting ready to say. Sproles is getting ready to say, hey, he probably talked to me in passing on a scene. This happens a lot. You'll have cops that show up, and the sheriff might show up at a scene, and then you've got the state troopers there, and he's like, oh, hey, by the way, I got something I'd like to talk to you about. Can we pencil that in next week? That happens a lot. So I get it. I understand where Sproles is coming from. You're going to hear that, and not a big deal. It is what it is.
Well,
Check to
as
the form of the question, but you can
as I would think you would understand, being an attorney, sometimes we meet, and especially Chris Martin, we meet on fatal car crashes.
Yes, because attorneys very frequently meet on fatal car crashes and talk at the scenes of suicides and all kinds of things like this. I can think of several times where an attorney has responded, signal 10 to a suicide, walked through the house, walked in, looked at the deceased body, walked out, turned around, walked out, because some weird connection there, I don't know, and then saw another attorney and said, hey, yeah, we no, that doesn't mean, I don't know what Sproles is saying there. Obviously, he's just being a smartass here, but I get what he's saying. They met on a scene somewhere, and state trooper said, hey, I need to talk to you in your office next week, and that's what happened here. No big deal. We'll get through this here real quick, because they go back and forth about, if there's an email, if there's not an email, and when did this meeting get set. So we'll skip through here, and we'll continue on
discovery
here.
items to the best of my ability at the time, according to my recollection at the time.
All right. And did you take any notes from this meeting with Chris Martin?
I do not recall.
Did you look, Sheriff?
I do not recall.
You don't recall if you looked. Well, you understand?
What a complete
that you
asshole.
sent discovery to your attorney.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
If you answered.
Information.
Correct.
Okay. And so, do you think that it's proper for someone of your stature to say, I don't know if I look for this information or not?
Objection, argumentative. He answered your question and said he doesn't recall whether he looked for it.
I know. Well, that's not my question, sir. My question to him is, does he think that is an appropriate answer to say he doesn't recall?
Yes.
He looked for this.
Yes, I do think it's an appropriate answer.
And why is that? When you're given discovery request, you don't even look for the stuff.
I didn't say
Objection.
I didn't look for it.
This construes the testimony.
Okay. Well, you don't have any documentation that you look for, right?
And what kind of documentation would I have that I look for something? Do I write a note to look for notes?
Well, you said that you would talk to your staff and have them do have them look for something. Wouldn't your staff sit up there and maybe tell you, hey, we did this, we did that, and we couldn't find anything?
Well, you missed a little key point of what I said. I said electronic stuff. So usually when I take notes, I don't take them electronically.
How do you take notes?
I would take notes, writing them down. That's how I would take them.
Okay, so, but you don't have any recollection of taking notes?
I do not.
And anything? Okay. The information, and do you recall the information that Mr. Martin told you?
I would recall some of it. I'm sure I wouldn't recall all of it. This meeting's been a while back, and obviously Korey Alwood is somebody I don't know and doesn't mean a whole lot in my life. So it's not a key moment in my life that I'm remembering every detail to when I first heard of Korey Alwood.
Okay, well, what details do you remember?
I remember that Chris stated something to the effect that ISP had been watching Korey Alwood. They've been listening to phone calls that he is making to Aryan Brotherhood friends. They've been seeing him put money on books to his Aryan Brotherhood friends in prison. And that pretty much summarizes what I remember of the meeting.
So, I want to get this. So you're saying that ISP Sergeant Chris Martin told you that they are essentially wiretapping his phone because they're listening in on his phone.
Did I say that?
To his Aryan brothers, right?
No.
K-Blue.
No, that's not what I said at all.
I thought you said they were listening
that your memory is so short. You asked me about taking medications. You're forgetting what was said 10 seconds previous. So I'm wondering if you're on the medications.
Nope. There's the medication
Sir,
thing.
You can just answer the question and not try to insult people, okay? I haven't insulted you. I did not insult you. Now, did I?
Calling me
Hold on,
racist is insulting,
Oh,
okay?
oh,
Calling me
no,
racist is insulting.
Sir, I asked you if you were racist because you brought up that.
Yeah, because you called me racist publicly.
Sproles, he's not. Sproles is this is the reason Sproles is dangerous, because Sproles cannot contain himself. He cannot. He just can't let it go. Sproles is liable at some point to go ballistic because he can't control himself. It's really crazy. I think that his attorney. I don't have any ill will to his attorney, Michael D. Risnio or whatever his name is. I have no issue with him. I actually feel sorry for him. He, as an attorney, has to give his client like a certain level of effectual counsel. Effective counsel. I don't know what I said there. I think I made up a word. Effective counsel. He has to defend him to the best of his ability and give him appropriate legal counsel. But they don't care about this man one bit. They dropped Henry County. They want to be done with Henry County, and it's just costing them a fortune, and it's such a headache. So they are sick of this. They're tired of dealing with Sproles. I felt all through our case that they just wanted to be done with him, that they have their hands full. And so I really feel sorry for them. This is not something that they want to be doing. I believe they think he's a jackass like the rest of us.
Sir, I'm asking you now.
Yeah.
During this deposition, just answer the questions.
Okay.
Simple as that.
So to answer your question, you just asked me if Chris Martin said that they were wiretapping his phone. The answer to that question is no, he did not say that.
Okay. You said that they were listening in on his phone calls.
That is correct.
Okay. So if they're listening in on his phone calls, how are they listening in on his phone calls if they're not tapping his phone?
Argumentative, calls for speculation.
You're an attorney. You understand jail calls are recorded. My goodness.
So you're saying that they have recordings of all his calls to the jail?
Objection.
I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. I just simply repeated what I thought I remembered Chris Martin saying. So no, I'm not saying that.
So, okay. Are you saying that Chris Martin told you that they have recordings of Korey talking to people, Aryan Brotherhood? Did you say that or not?
No, I didn't say that they have recordings of it.
Okay. Did you say that they were listening in to him calling his Aryan Brotherhood friends?
I said something to that sort. Yes, something along that line. I didn't say they had recordings of it. I didn't say they wiretapping his phone.
Okay. But you said they were listening in?
Something of that relevance, yes. Okay. All jail calls are recorded. That's common knowledge.
Yes. And you also said that they had a record of him sending money to his Aryan Brotherhood friends in prison.
I don't know that I said they had a record of it, but they made the mention that somehow that is an understanding that they have, that he is putting money on the books of Aryan Brotherhood members.
And does Chris Martin still work for the Indiana State Police?
Yes, he does.
Do you have his phone number?
I don't have
not his personal phone number. I'm talking about like the state police post phone number.
I have it as easily as you have it. I don't have it available currently.
Okay. Did he share any documents with you in regards to what you're claiming he said?
About the phone calls?
Yes.
Not that I recall.
What about putting the money on the books?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Did you do anything to verify that information before repeating it or referencing it in public?
Objection. Facts not evidence.
You may have answered, Sheriff, but your attorney was talking, so I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What did the attorney say? Michael, what'd you say?
Oh, you can answer the question if you recall it.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Of course. Of course.
And did he try to become a police officer in your county?
Was my understanding that that attempt was being made.
Okay, listen to this.
I heard you said an attempt was being made, but I'm asking you, did he?
You just said, did he try? That's the same as an attempt, I guess.
No, well, let me rephrase the question. I said, did he?
Okay, well, you said, did he try to become? So I guess the new question with did he become, that's different than did he try to. To my knowledge, he did not become an officer in Henry County.
Okay, did he apply to become a officer in Henry County?
I do not know whether he applied to become an officer or not.
Why wouldn't you know that?
Yes.
Because you can make attempts to do something in more ways than filling out an application.
Well, did he apply to be a sheriff or work for your department office?
I would doubt he would apply at any sheriff's office or any legitimate police department.
Well, ask if he tried to apply, or did he apply at your office?
Not to my knowledge.
So your investigation of Mr. Alwood was based upon some rumor you heard that he was trying to apply in to become a police officer.
In my county, yes.
Okay. So what other investigative steps did you take besides looking up his criminal record or talk to witnesses like Chris Martin?
If I recall, I talked to a couple of other people who had interactions with Mr. Alwood.
And who were they?
You would have that information, I would assume, and I don't know the information off the top of my head.
Well, I don't have that information. That's what I'm asking.
Castle Lord.
You say you don't have it off the top of your head. Do you have it written down somewhere?
To my knowledge, you have that information.
So I'm asking you a question.
I know you told me you don't have that information, and I don't believe that's accurate.
Okay, who are they then? Oh, you don't have it. You said you don't have it right now.
Yeah, I don't have that information right now. I'm sitting in my car. That's not information that I carry with me. And
why are you in your car?
Pull that and.
Well, I'll double check, but my recollection is looking at a lot of the responses is they were non-responsive.
Yeah, well, if I remember correctly, you asked if I had contact with these specific people. So that's why I say that you know.
Oh, okay. You're talking about those people. Okay.
Yeah.
Like Travis. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Well, I tell you what, that medication question could have gone both ways. You're struggling. You're struggling, man.
Sir, I'm asking you to show a little bit of respect and dignity of the office of the sheriff deserves.
Well, so
I'm not look, regardless of what happened outside of this area. I'm just talking about right here.
Right.
I'm talking about right now during the deposition.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, when this deposition's over with, you can go and you can talk to your people. Hey, that Attorney Nicholson's he's a bum, whatever.
Yeah, I don't do that. So I'm not worried about doing that.
Well, you insulted me trying to say that I need medication or something like that. I find it to be offensive.
Okay. Well, let me, with all due respect, let me make one comment here. You're the one that asked me if I were taking any medication that would cause me to not be able to tell the truth. You have several times answered untruthfully to me, just like you just did. So that's the only reason I said it. You said you don't have that information. You don't know, and you good and well know. And if you don't,
first of all, Mark Nicholson does not need to answer any type of questions to John Sproles. Mark Nicholson is not the one being questioned here. Sproles is not running this question and answer. He's not running this deposition. He's not running this investigation. Sproles is in the hot seat. And the fact that Sproles is so worked up over this damn medication question is absolutely ludicrous. That he does not know that is a standard question. Mark gets into that with him here. It's just absolutely insane.
You're not paying attention to your case.
Well, sir, the reason why I said that was because you didn't give me any names. And so then when you got in and got a little bit more specific about the names, like, oh, okay, those are the two people. I don't know how many people you talked to. That's why I'm asking these questions.
Yeah, those two people that I can recall is all that I talked to about him.
Okay, and there are questions about mental, physical, any kind of drugs? Those are standard questions that I ask, because if someone is on medication or someone has some kind of mental health issues, I don't want, when we go to trial, to say, well, hey, I was on medication, I was a little bit loopy, that I didn't know what was going on. So that's why I asked those questions.
Bill,
do you understand that?
I understand.
Okay.
You do? You seem like you don't. You seem like you didn't.
You testified that you organized some town hall meeting, right?
Correct.
Okay, and what was the purpose of that?
The purpose was to talk about the town marshal scam scheme.
If I had
who was invited?
$1.
To my knowledge, we attempted to invite all of the town marshals and their deputies within our county.
Alva, nobody. Not one person. If the sheriff is involved in a vehicle accident, if the sheriff is involved in an officer-involved shooting, as a standard of practice and standard of operating procedure, he would take a drug test. But shy of that, I don't know.
Alwood during the meeting.
I have not discussed Mr. Alwood in any meeting that I can recall outside of meeting with Mr. Martin.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Did you discuss his employment?
I'm telling you, I thought this dude is working on other casework. He's looking at OnlyFans. I don't know what he's doing, but he's not involved with this situation. He is Sproles out of here.
As being a town marshal.
Not that I recall in that meeting or in any other meeting.
If you did not use his name, did you describe circumstances that will allow attendees to identify him?
Objection. The recording speaks for itself. You can answer the question.
Yeah, I don't. The question is not doesn't appear to be clear, so I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay, well, let me clarify it for you then.
Okay.
During that meeting, did you describe circumstances or facts that would allow people to identify the person you're talking about as Korey Alwood?
Yep.
Objection calls for speculation. You can answer.
Yeah, that to my knowledge, that meeting was recorded by your friend Kristopher Bilbrey. And so you have the recording, you've listened to it. I have not. I don't recall everything that I said in it. You've listened to it, so you're welcome to hit play and play the thing. There's no need. You've got the facts there in front of you.
So what your answer is, you don't recall if you did or not, right?
I do not recall. I don't ever recall mentioning Korey Alwood. Korey Alwood was not that big of a deal in the scope of.
I don't recall anything. The only thing that I recall is my obsession with Kristopher Bilbrey. That's the only thing that I recall. I literally, you know what? Here's the deal. That's only twice. Before this is over, I think he says my name 6 more times. I think he says my name like 6 more times.
All things that we have to deal with. So I do not remember mentioning Korey Alwood at all in that meeting.
Okay. So that was not my question. My question was, did you mention facts that would have it to where people could identify him?
Okay.
Not that you said his name.
You'll have to explain that better to me, because I'm not tracking on that. The reason I called that meeting is because these small town marshal systems are such a danger, quite frankly, in the fact that if you have a buddy who's the town marshal, you can just get on as a town marshal and you can be a convicted felon or whatever. And in fact, I remember referencing specifically in that meeting that I called out a town marshal, a reserve town marshal working in our county that had been convicted of multiple felonies. And so I was, I guess I can say this: if the shoe fits, wear it. I was calling out the dangers of the town marshal scam scheme system that are prevalent and not specific to Korey Alwood. Like I said, if the shoe fits Korey, he's welcome to wear it. I was calling out different types of
listen. When something's said, it's good. It's good. I am probably going to start using that. If the shoe, I guarantee you, I probably will. If the shoe fits Dan Ridenhour, he's welcome to wear it. When you hear me say that in the future, just know, thank you, Sproles.
Dangers of people who should never have a uniform and a badge getting employed in small town marshal systems. That's what I was calling out in general, spreading a wide net, just explaining those dangers, which are real dangers.
So Korey Alwood is someone you don't think should have a badge?
Oh, I absolutely. I mean, that I don't know why that question is relevant. I believe that everybody can change. I don't know Korey at all. And I do know this: God can change people, and I trust that is the case, and believe that may be the case with Korey. And I thank God for that. But yeah, there are things that you can do that.
Yes.
He just contradicted himself in the space of 20 seconds. Somebody with felonies shouldn't be sheriff. That's dangerous. No, Korey's fine.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're 100%. And so here is an ID. This ID was sent to us by Korey from this. This is from the Swayze Police Department. Swayze is a small town in Indiana. It has around 1,000, little over 1,000 people in the town. It's just like some of the small towns in Henry County or Delaware County or Randolph County or Madison County. Look, there are people in this chat that do not believe that Korey should be a police officer. You're free to feel that way. I am not speaking of his. I'm not speaking on whether he should or shouldn't be. That's got nothing to do with this. What I'm talking about is what's going on with the elected sheriff of Henry County and what he should or shouldn't be doing as sheriff. And this is just one of many lawsuits. Okay? If you don't like this one, throw this one out. Look at all of the other ones that he's been involved with that he has done total insane shit with, and it's been bad. So this is a look into the sheriff's mentality.
That you should never get a badge again, and you can still be a great caring person and go straight to heaven, and you could have been a murderer. And I believe that God changes people. And so, but according to past situations, I would not. I would say that Korey shouldn't have a badge, and I don't mean that in any harsh way. I believe Korey.
So he just went back and
if he's been saved and his life been transformed, he's got a wonderful testimony. If that's the case, it can help many people, and that's wonderful. But specifically, if I think somebody should have a badge that's had to spend a lot of years in prison, absolutely not. And there's nothing ugly in that.
Ugly.
Okay. So I think after you said all about people being saved. And then you said that you believe that Korey should not have a badge. Is that fair?
So I don't know much about Korey. What I understand in general is that he spent a good amount of time in prison. I don't know what all that's for, okay, but I do know this. Most of the time, innocent people don't spend a good amount of time in prison. So whatever, yeah, I would say that I don't know. I'm very clear on I don't think Korey should ever have a badge. Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Or anybody else in the same boat. It has nothing to do specifically with Korey. It has to do with the situation.
Did you approve or review any written or video material before the town hall meeting that you called?
I don't recall. You could get more specific. I'm not tracking that question very well.
Okay, well, before you had this town hall meeting, did you review any material?
Review any material specific to the town hall meeting? I guess, is that what you're asking?
Well, yeah, did you prepare? I mean, did you just go there and just start talking? Or did you look at documents and prepare before you went out there and started talking?
I believe I sent a document to town marshals requesting their presence. I can't recall what all. I think that I put on that document what we were going to talk about. I can't recall. So no, I don't. I didn't need to spend a lot of time preparing for the conversation that I was going to have with the town marshals. It's very cut and dry.
Yes, Mary.
So there's not. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure out the concerns that I was expressing to our people.
Okay. Were you aware that the statements you made at that town hall would likely be shared publicly or with media?
If I remember correctly, your friend Kristopher Bilbrey was there. So I would be aware that it's going to be shared everywhere in every possible way to try to trip me up. So yes, I was aware of that.
He wasn't aware of that. At the time that town hall occurred, when that town hall occurred, I had already not been a fan of John Sproles, but that was like the very, very, very start of it. We hadn't been in like a major crazy battle. Okay, that was like the real start of it. So him saying that he was aware that it was going to be shared everywhere and everybody was going to see it and it was going to be this great big thing and it was going to be done to trip him up. That is just absolutely ludicrous, because that is not true in the absolute at all. Sproles and I had a few words. It was not crazy. I mean, I had told people as far back as October 2022 to not elect him. I was very clear about that. And I told people that he would be dangerous and that the Henry County law enforcement and Henry County citizens, they were really going to be in a world of hurt if they went through that. But I want to be clear that the recording that we did there happened on Thursday, July 6th, 2023. I really became adversarial with Sheriff Sproles after the Thursday, July 6th, 2023 day, because what people don't realize is the day of that town hall meeting that is being referenced here and that we're talking about, Thursday, July 6th, 2023, the day of that meeting, when we walked into the meeting to record and to view that, it had just happened a couple of hours after the shooting of... It had happened just a couple of hours after the shooting of Marquette Neal. So when we were there, I started hearing some grumblings that something had happened. And when we went home, when I got home, I found out exactly what had happened after I called some sources from the Henry County Sheriff's Department, and I issued my first records request to Sproles about the Marquette Neal shooting. And that is when things became, that's when things became adversarial between Sproles and I. So I just want to be clear about that, because he's wrong. And to show people, this is what we're talking about. Okay. We're talking about this town hall meeting. Okay. This is when
Flack like you would not believe. People coming in and slamming down badges. Well, my law enforcement career's over. I gave it my best, and you've never even been a law enforcement officer. And so this gentleman had a very negative perception of police. For safety reasons, I would like to say, hey, I've got that. I'll call him. And I get no response. I guess, hey, it's none of your business. What's it in your business? I'll tell you what is our business. We're sending police officers, lights and siren, to back up your officers. And we don't want people that have full police powers. Those 65 people cover 1,800 residents. Okay, 65 people to cover 1,800 residents.
Dispatch or
so this is that interview or that town hall, and this is what he's referring to, and so that's I want to put that out there. First of all, we recorded this to put out there, obviously, and I recorded this to make sure that people were aware of what was going on, but this wasn't done to trip Sproles up. I mean, in my opinion, if he was telling the truth and everything was above board, there should have been nothing to trip him up. If he wasn't out there defaming people and saying things he shouldn't have been saying, he would have been perfectly fine. So it's funny that in this deposition, he says, yeah, I knew this would be shared everywhere. And lots of people were going to see it. And it was going to be used to trip me up. But then follow along with what he says right here.
Moving on to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. Who contacted you about appearing on Boss Hog of Liberty podcast?
One of the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast guys, probably Jeremiah Morrell or Morrell. I don't know how you pronounce his name.
What topics were discussed before the recording?
There's not really any topics discussed before the recording. You just go in and it's pretty much goes straight to live. It's not Fox News or MSNBC.
He's so weird.
Did you prepare any talking points or notes about Mr. Alwood or the town marshal program?
Not that I recall.
Yes, Joe.
During the podcast, did you discuss individuals who match Mr. Alwood's background?
Objection. The recording speaks for itself. You can answer that.
Yeah, I was exactly what I was going to say. You've got the recording. You know what it says. You've been through it. So the recording speaks for itself. The entire Boss Hog podcast speaks for itself.
Okay, well, I'm asking you to speak for yourself. And what I'm asking is, did you discuss individuals who match Mr. Alwood's background?
I discussed everything precisely as it would appear on the recording of the Boss Hog.
So is it fair to say that, yes, you did discuss individuals who match Mr. Alwood's background? Yes or no, sir?
Objection. Mischaracterizes the evidence. The recording speaks for itself.
I'll say this. I already said it about the town hall meeting. I was speaking to the downfalls and the pitfalls of the small town marshal systems and the dangers of it. I was talking about issues right there within our own community of people who have had felonies who are currently working. So again, if the shoe fits, wear it. I don't know what to say, but no, I was not referencing Korey Alwood.
Well, Korey Alwood had a felony conviction, as you know, right?
I don't know. I know he spent time in prison. I don't know what his convictions are. I have no idea.
Okay.
I've not looked up to see what his convictions are.
Well, I thought you said you did look him up because you heard that he was going to try to apply.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me clarify that for you. I looked him up, as you well know, on our internal Spillman database, which only shows any interaction police-wise that we have had with Mr. Korey Alwood in Henry County.
Okay. And you met with Chris Martin from ISP, who said he did time in prison, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so to go to prison, as you know, Sheriff, you have to be convicted of a felony, right? It's not a misdemeanor. If you did a lot of time in prison.
Yep.
Okay, so it's reasonable for you to assume, being in law enforcement, that if he went to prison for a long time, it was probably a felony conviction, right?
That's very reasonable. And like I said, I was speaking about felony convictions and people getting in because I had a dude sitting right in front of me at the town hall meeting who I was referring to. So I just was talking about in general, these issues. And like I said, I'm sorry,
That's
the
right,
shoe
Diane.
fits. Apparently it does. That's his problem, not mine.
So who is a person that you were that was sitting in front of you that you're referring to that fit this description that you're talking about?
His name is Brian Atkinson, and he's had his record expunged as well.
So Brian Atkinson.
Yep.
You're saying,
oh, you know him. You know him well. Yeah, exactly. You know him well because you filed another lawsuit on him to us, and constantly. Yeah. So yes, he's been convicted of multiple felonies.
And then he applied to be a town marshal in your department?
I don't have town marshals in my department. Okay, we are the Henry County Sheriff's Office.
Woo!
Did he apply to be a sheriff?
I don't ever recall him applying to be a full-time sheriff. I believe he applied as a reserve. In fact, I know he did because there was a point where he was a reserve with the Henry County Sheriff's Office, and the previous sheriff terminated him.
Okay. Did he try to be a town marshal?
He didn't try to be. He was a reserve town marshal.
Okay.
And I was the first person that he looked up on his computer as soon as he had access to it. Just a little side note.
Did he go to the law enforcement academy?
Negative.
Okay.
Is
he a member?
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, I interrupted. Go ahead.
Part of the big issues and the big warnings that I'm giving about these small town marshals. No, he didn't go to the police academy.
Okay.
Has no idea what he's doing law enforcement wise, except assisting a criminal in which you filed a lawsuit, and he'll probably get some charges from Wayne County soon. And it's unfortunate that I'll leave it at that.
God, man, I'm telling you, dude, this guy is nuts.
What gang is he involved with?
What gang is who involved with?
Brian Atkinson.
So obviously, as I said, I know where you're going with this. I was covering lots of different areas of concern in a general sense. I never said, where have I said that Brian Atkinson was a gang member?
No, I'm asking you.
I don't know. When did you?
I just asked you what gang was Brian Atkinson a member of?
Well, for you to ask the question in that manner would assume that he was a gang member. You're trying to sort out which gang it was. I never mentioned anything about Atkinson and a gang. So I guess I'm just not tracking on that. What gang was he a member of?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll just say I'll answer that question that way. I don't know what gang he was a member of.
Do you know if he was in a gang?
I don't.
Okay. Now I want to talk about your still talking about the Boss Hog Liberty. Do you have any reasons to doubt the accuracy of what you said?
Do I have any reasons to doubt the accuracy of what I said? And when you say what I said, what are you referring to? Every word that was spoken on the Boss Hog, I assume?
Yes.
Well, I would hope that my words are not inaccurate. If I was misinformed on any type of situation and I repeated information, I guess you could say some things could be inaccurate had I been misinformed. But no, I would trust that what I say is not inaccurate. We don't always get it exactly right, though.
We don't always get it exactly right.
Do you intend for your statements to be publicized to a wide audience?
I didn't intend for it to be publicized to a wide audience. I don't know what kind of audience the Boss Hog has. It doesn't look too wide to me.
God. Okay, we get some treatment here too. All right, we're not just gonna laugh because here it goes.
Okay. Well, would you agree that being on his podcast that it did reach other people?
Objection calls for speculation.
I have no idea. It's like Chris Bilbrey. I don't think he reaches very many people. So I don't know.
Well, I didn't say my question in regards to the Boss Hog was other people, not a lot of people, but
I don't
somebody.
know. I don't know. The feed could be broken for all I know. I don't know.
Okay. So did anybody tell you that they saw you on Boss Hog Liberty podcast?
Yeah, I don't recall.
Were there any people that called in during this podcast?
I don't recall, but the recording speaks for itself.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
The purpose for you to go on the Boss Hog Liberty podcast, was it to speak to an audience?
My purpose was to go speak to the Boss Hog people who asked me to come talk to them. So that was my purpose.
Okay, and how many people?
The Boss Hog people.
Was there 2 or 3 in there? You've got the recording. You could answer that. I don't remember.
Okay.
The Boss Hog people.
Now going on to the Wish TV. How did that interview come about?
I would assume that they contacted me about doing an interview.
How did they contact you?
I don't recall.
If you had to speculate, do you think this was something that they would walk into your office and meet with you to say, hey, we want to do an interview?
Objection literally calls for speculation.
It literally does.
I'm not an attorney, but I'm sitting there thinking the same thing. What you want me to speculate? What else do you want me to speculate on while we're at it?
Well,
I'm asking
specifically the question.
I'm not going to speculate on that.
I'm asking you to speculate on this. That needs to be a shirt. Speculate on this.
Trial, yes, there's an objection for that. During the deposition, hearsay, speculation, all that.
Speculate on this.
Deposition.
So I'll answer the question. Go ahead and give me the question again.
Okay. So for someone from the media, Wish TV, to interview you, would it be normal for them just to show up and do an interview? Or would they
speculate on this
prior to coming to your office?
I wouldn't know what would be normal to Wish TV on how they do that. You would have to ask them that. I don't know their norms.
No, I'm talking about with you. I mean, you've given interviews to news before, right?
I have.
Okay, so so when you get interviewed, is it because the media just shows up at your office, or do they usually contact you prior to showing up?
It's a mix of both. Sometimes they just show up. If there's a situation or a scene, they just show up. You would know that. And sometimes they reach out and request a meeting.
Okay. What steps did you take to determine if Wish TV reached out prior to showing up?
I believe that there was a request for emails. And I believe that our staff worked on getting emails to you from TV stations, if there were any.
And you may have already answered this. Apologize if you had. They initiated contact with you first, right? You didn't initiate contact with them.
I answered that saying I don't recall.
What topics were you told would be discussed?
I don't recall.
Did you refer to Mr. Alwood in that interview?
I don't believe I did. As I said, I haven't talked about Mr. Alwood in any of these interviews, and the interviews will speak to them for themselves. If I did, you'll find it in the interview. You've got all that information. I guess I'm just struggling with all the questions about, you've got all of these interviews. Why are you having to ask the questions about what was said in the interview? You've listened to, I've never.
Really quickly, just to allow Sheriff Sproles to see the reach, it's not just me making it up. Just wanted to allow Mr. Sproles to see it here.
Now, to be fair, you are down 2% from the previous.
Yeah. And we're down 2% from the previous 90 days.
Drinking, Kristopher.
Yes. It's cold outside.
Going back and listen to any of these interviews. You've got the information.
Were you aware that the interview would be broadcast on television and online?
I'm going to say no, because sometimes they don't broadcast when they do interviews. They may not broadcast it. So no, I was not aware of that, whether it would be or not.
Did you ever watch the video after it aired?
I do not recall ever watching the video after it aired.
He is
asked to make
lying.
any corrections or clarifications?
I do not recall ever asking to make any questions or clarifications. Ask any questions or make clarifications.
Do you believe the information that you provided was accurate?
Well, I wouldn't provide him any information ever if I did not believe it was accurate. So any information I ever provide to anybody, I believe is accurate. Whether it is actually accurate or not, I can't speak to that, but I can assure you, I would never provide information that
Send
I
it to me,
believe is
Catherine.
inaccurate. That's not how I operate.
What sources did you rely on when you spoke publicly about the town marshal system?
I relied on sources that I personally am aware of in, again, a wide spectrum of issues with these small town marshal systems, sources that I personally am aware of and understand.
Are any of those documented like in paper form or electronic form?
Not that I recall. Most of
That's
this
a
stuff
defeatable
is just,
challenge.
honestly,
Don't worry about that.
Most of this stuff is common sense. And common sense typically ain't documented in paper form. It's just common sense.
Which he knows nothing about.
Yeah.
What sources did you rely on when you spoke publicly about Mr. Alwood?
Objection. Misconstrues the facts. He's already testified that he's never spoken publicly about Mr. Alwood, that he only spoke privately with Sergeant Martin.
That's completely a lie.
So what facts did you rely on when you spoke publicly about Mr. Alwood to this Chris Martin? And also you said that you talked about other people. So as your attorney says, I'm mischaracterizing the facts. I think that's in disagreement with what you said when you said you talked to Chris Martin about Mr. Alwood, and you also talked to at least 2 other people. Would you agree?
Agree to the fact that I talked to Chris Martin and 2 other people about Mr. Alwood?
Yes.
Well, of course I agree to that fact. It's a fact.
Okay.
I did talk to them.
All right. Well, your attorney said that you only spoke with Mr. Martin.
Again, I'm going to object to you mischaracterizing my objection. You said spoke publicly.
Yes. Speaking publicly is him speaking to Mr. Martin and speaking
No,
to
it
2
is
other
not.
people.
No, it is not, Mark, and you know that. That's a total conversation between 2 people, and you're mischaracterizing his testimony, and you're asking a question without foundation.
Come on, Mark. Really, seriously.
I am being serious.
You want to ask him about private conversations between him and Mr.
It's
Martin.
not private when it's not private under statute of defamation when you tell a third party. So tell me about what information that you relied on when you spoke to other people about Mr. Alwood.
That's very easy. I simply asked them questions, and they're the ones that gave me information. I didn't call and give them information. I called and said, do you know anything about Korey Alwood? And hang on to your britches, I guess, would be the next phrase. Okay?
Okay, well, what did they say?
Well, they said that they found out Korey Alwood, the one place that I remember, I don't even remember where it was. You would know this, up north somewhere. They had no idea Korey Alwood had one of their badges because his buddy, the town marshal, gave him a badge. And as soon as they found out, they got rid of him.
This wasn't Chris Martin that you're referring to, right?
No, I'm referring to some town council member guy. You know who it is. You've got the name. I don't remember the name. Who I simply called, said, did you used to employ Korey Alwood? That's all I asked. And then he told me all of the horror story of their association with Korey Alwood.
All right. And did you personally verify the information before making these public statements?
I didn't make any public statements about Korey Alwood.
Did you personally verify any of the statements that you just told
Remember
me
that.
I didn't need to personally verify it because it didn't go anywhere with me. What do I need to personally verify it for?
Okay, we're going to jump along here.
I guess they could identify anybody else that has a similar circumstances as Korey Alwood. So, I mean, what specialty does that make that he happens to fit a narrative of convicted felons being hired on? There's a ton of them. There's a ton of them that's done this. This is, you can go look at the news and read all kind of articles where town marshals found out that they had hired their buddy and they didn't know till later that he's a convicted felon. This is nothing uncommon. This was just what I was warning our people about. Let's not repeat the same problem.
Okay, so you agree that basically what you're describing, it does fit Korey.
I don't know Korey. I said, I don't know that it fits Korey. I didn't go, as you said, I looked him up. There's nothing in Henry County. We've never had any action with him police-wise in Henry County. I didn't go pull a triple. I didn't pull any information. So I don't know what fits Korey. I have no idea what fits Korey. No idea what he suffered anything. I don't know Korey Alwood.
Well, it's not laughable to him.
I don't mean in disrespect, but asking me if I knew that Korey suffered reputational harm, because I wasn't talking about Korey. So I don't know. And I'm sorry, I reputational harm, if that occurred for some reason, I'm sorry. I sure didn't put anything out on you to cause you reputational harm.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever contact Mr. Alwood to discuss or clarify your statements?
Why would I? I don't have any statements about Korey Alwood. Why would I contact Korey Alwood to clarify anything?
Have you issued any public apology or clarification or statement regarding those past interviews?
Obviously not, because there's no reason to.
There's never a reason to apologize.
During your interview, the town hall meeting, you said it would blow your mind the level of criminality.
I'm on a deposition. I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. You have to repeat that.
Yeah. All right.
Probably why you shouldn't be sitting in a public space, you idiot.
The level of criminality that is walking the street with a police uniform. We have a picture of him. Shocking, isn't it? You go from prison uniform and prison markings to the next picture, a police uniform. Who were you referring to in that statement?
I can't recall.
Who is we? I have a picture of him.
I can't answer that. I don't know who I was referring to at that time as saying we.
So that person that you're referring to, it was not Brian Atkinson?
Like I said, I can't recall who I was referring to at that moment.
So since you don't recall, then it could have been Korey, right?
Well, since I don't recall, it could have been Korey, and it could have been anybody else, and it could have been Brian Atkinson.
Okay. Well, Korey actually has a picture of him in a police uniform and a prison uniform. Okay. He had that on his Facebook page.
So I guess he's the one that announced it, not me.
Well, if you're saying that you're referring to that,
well, I'm not saying that. But I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that. So I guess the cat got out of the bag that he was a convicted felon and a police officer. And
we have a picture of him. We have a picture of him. Where's the picture?
I don't know. Like I said, I can't recall what I'm talking about. I do not know what
I can't recall what I'm talking about.
Like I said, we have
that's a great statement.
Brian Atkinson in a police uniform, and we have a picture of Brian Atkinson with the arrest photo as well.
I can't recall what I'm talking about.
And as I told you,
but not a prison uniform. But you said prison uniform. You have a picture of Brian Atkinson in a prison uniform?
Those names, those are interchangeable. Prison uniform, jail uniform. There's no difference. You pick the uniform. So there's not a specific prison uniform and a specific jail uniform. Different entities just pick different colors, different types. So that's an interchangeable statement.
But you know that prison and jail are not interchangeable, right?
What I didn't say that prison and jail were. I said the term prison uniform could be.
But when you talk about a prison uniform, most people are going to think prison, right? Would you agree?
You know what? Most people, your average people, don't know the difference between prison and jail.
Okay. Well, let's talk about people in law enforcement. Do people in law enforcement, do you know the difference between prison and jail?
I do.
Okay. Would you agree that most law enforcement officers probably know the difference between prison and jail?
Objection, calls for speculation. Who can answer?
But yes, I would think so.
Okay.
probably some town marshal guys that don't know the difference between jail and prison and a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, Sheriff, I didn't ask you about town marshals, did I?
No, but I threw that in for free.
Well, I hope you can throw in some free answers to the questions I'm asking instead of all that do not recall business. How about that?
Do you recall calling me a racist? Do you recall calling me a racist?
Sir, I'm asking the questions right now.
I know.
The question I asked you during the deposition, was, are you a racist? I didn't get in there and call you. I didn't disrespect you by calling you that.
No, you called me a racist many times publicly. So you want to try to infer that you didn't? Are you the one lying now? Come on, Mark. You got to be better than this, brother.
Sheriff
You got
Sproles,
to be better than this.
Let's just answer the questions that are asked and not engage in any extracurriculars.
I suggest you listen to your attorney on that one.
Yep, I will.
Thank you.
Okay, so I mean, like he really has to be. Listen, I really feel sorry for Michael. I really, really, really feel sorry for Michael. I hate that. I'm sorry. And I know that we're going long. I know it's been 2 hours, 30 minutes. We're going to get quicker through this because a lot of the stuff starts getting into the weeds and it's a lot of stuff. We are going to put this up there, but we're going to ride through it and get this out because I can't break this into 2 parts. So we're going to get through it. Bear with me, but this is something that you guys are going to want to watch. You'll be fine tomorrow morning.
That's a statement that you made, correct?
Objection speaks for itself.
Well, you said it will blow your mind the level of criminality that is walking the street with a police uniform. We have a picture of him. Shocking, isn't it? You go from prison uniform and prison markings to the next picture, police uniform. That's a statement. That's a statement you made, correct?
That is correct. And I already told you that I was calling out Brian Atkinson, who exactly, we have that as well. So I can't remember and recall who I was referring to.
You said you can't recall who you're referring to, right?
That's what I said.
Okay. It also said, referring to the town marshals, it attracts the predator type people when you have a buddy who says, I can put you on a department, even though you just got out of prison for many years, even though you have a criminal history 20 miles long, you can get a police job. You also said that, correct?
Record will reflect.
And your quote was referencing Korey Alwood, correct?
That is not.
Yes.
I do not recall, but that is a generalized statement. I was speaking to the generalized concerns using generalized information. Again, you can pick any statement about prison. If you spent 2 years in prison for this, that, and the other, and it'll fit somebody's shoe, it will fit. So no.
God.
One. So I don't know.
Well, you were told by one of the witnesses you talked to that he had been, and you said then they ended up firing him, right? Isn't that what you said?
But what I said was they didn't even know he was, and they're the ones that they had no idea that he was a town marshal. Their town council didn't even know because he had a buddy like a million of these other people do. And when they found out that he had a badge, they took it from him. So whether he was ever really a town marshal or not, I don't know that, and it doesn't matter to me.
So it just sounds like okay. Now, moving on to the Boss Hog Liberty podcast. You said, this is one of the big concerns. I want to be careful what I say here. Here are some huge concerns. There are realities out there. There are well-known nationally violent gangs that have a goal of infiltrating small-town police departments. We know this stuff as fact. That is not something I'm just making up to try to scare people. We know that people have wound up with badges who are hardened criminals.
Yes. Again, generalized statement. I know multiple people who have, so that's a generalized statement.
Okay. Who are these multiple people that you know that are members of this national violent gang?
He just said he knows lots of people, multiple people.
Again,
objection. This characterizes the testimony. The statement speaks for itself.
No, he said he knew multiple people.
That fit this description.
I'm going to say that the statement speaks for itself, and as I've said many times, I'm casting a wide net, speaking about general.
But you said you knew multiple people.
These town marshal scam schemes.
You just said previous to that you knew a lot of people that fit this description. So I'm asking you, who fits this description?
I don't think I said I know a lot of people that fit that description.
No, you said multiple. Okay. There are multiple people, many people.
Who fits the description?
So the description of being in jail, incarcerated, in prison, whatever, the generalized being incarcerated, and then having a badge right off the bat, and I'm sure I could pull up more, but right off the bat, your buddy Brian Atkinson and Korey Alwood. There's two of them. And Kristopher Bilbrey, I guess, would be another one, your other buddy. So he has been arrested.
I've been arrested one time in my life. I have been arrested one time in my life. I was arrested in 2017 for speaking in a Winchester City Council meeting. It was a false and illegal and unjustified arrest. I was arrested for disorderly conduct. The prosecutor's office refused to file charges. They filed paperwork stating that the arrest was unlawful and unjustified. I filed a federal lawsuit against the town and came out the other side victorious. That arrest is something that I guess I'm proud of. I wear it like a badge of honor. It was after my time in law enforcement. I've never had a badge after. I've got badges from my time in law enforcement, and I have badges that I traded and collected with others that are in a shadow box. But I don't wear them. I don't use them as law enforcement power. They're in a box on my wall. But what he just said there, in my opinion, it is that's getting close to defamation, because that's not correct. I was not arrested and then got a badge afterwards as a felon. That's not right.
So I guess you got three in the same boat. So there's your three of them.
And
no, there's not three of them. I've never spent a time. When I was in jail for the disorderly conduct, I was there for 45 minutes. I've never been to prison. I've never been. This is nuts.
Which one has been in a national violent gang?
I don't know.
So your testimony today is that you didn't know that Korey was a member of the Aryan Brotherhood. Is that what you're saying, Sheriff?
No, that's
none of that was
arrest.
arrest.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, what are you saying then? Because it sounds like you just said you didn't know anybody was in the gang. So what are you saying?
I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is I don't know who all of these guys have been in a gang. Chris Bilbrey's probably in gangs as well. Probably something we don't want to know about. And Brian Atkinson could as well. So I don't know.
There you go. I really, and look, Mark's not my attorney. I would really like to explore with John what he's talking about here. I would really like to figure out what he's talking about here when he says I'm in a gang and we don't want to know what
probably in gangs as well, probably something we don't want to know about. And Brian Atkinson could as
I don't know what he's talking about. I
don't know who
there.
all of these guys have been in a gang. Chris Bilbrey's probably in gangs as well, probably something we don't want to know about. And Brian Atkinson could as well. So I don't know this. I don't know the specifics on.
I'd like to find out what exactly he is
But Sheriff,
talking about.
I know it's been a while, but didn't you say that Chris Martin from ISP met you in person and told you specifically?
You know, let me ask you this. I wonder when Sproles meets up with Chris Martin, you know, they are in a gang. They are in the largest gang in America. Law enforcement, the thin blue line, the biggest gang that there is. Sometimes there's justice, and sometimes there's just us. You know how it goes. You know how it goes.
Korey Alwood was a member of the Aryan Brotherhood. They had him on phone calls to his Aryan Brotherhood friends, and they had him put money on Aryan Brotherhood books.
Yes,
right?
Sir. Yeah, you don't have
Would
to
you
be an
agree?
Aryan.
You said yes. You said yes. Would you agree that the Aryan Brotherhood is a nationally known gang?
Okay, I agree
Would
with
you agree with that?
Yeah, and I assume that Korey Alwood is a former Aryan Brotherhood member.
Okay, exactly.
He shouldn't
Out of
have
the three
problem
people you
with that,
mentioned,
though, because he doesn't have a problem.
Only one of them you knew was a member of a gang.
I said I assumed. I don't know. How do I know? I didn't follow up and do any investigation to detail out this stuff. I already told you that.
Okay, how well you know Chris Martin?
I know Chris Martin well.
Okay, you think he's just gonna come lie to you?
No, I don't.
Do you trust what he says?
I do.
Okay, so when he told you that, you didn't have any reason to doubt it, did you?
I didn't have any reason to doubt it. No.
Okay, and he told you that about Korey Alwood, right?
That's correct.
He didn't tell you that about Brian Atkinson?
I know Brian Atkinson. I know Brian Atkinson has been incarcerated and in a prison uniform, if you will, and in a police uniform too. Again, speaking general terms. General
That's not my
warrants.
question. Okay, that's not my question. My question is that Chris.
The record would reflect. So.
Yeah, and that's a statement you made to Wish TV.
That's correct.
On July 8, 2023.
Okay.
All right. So who were you referring to there?
I'm going to say it again. I am speaking to the concerns and the issues
Casting a wide
of the
net.
small town marshal systems.
The scam
I am giving examples of what could happen, and so I am speaking in generalized terms.
So,
And
sir,
again-
this wasn't general when you say when you know of a gang member. Who is this gang member you claim that you know of other than Korey?
Yeah, I can't recall.
I'm sure you can't. Who is the person that had the expunged records that is the gang member and the gang leader who has expunged records and a more enormous amount of time in prison other than Korey?
I couldn't tell you.
Now we're going to add in the buddy business. Who else became a town marshal because of what you heard was because of their buddy?
Practically all of them. Practically all of them.
Okay. Well, now you say practically all of them. Now narrow it down to a member, the gang leader.
Oop, sorry about that. I don't know what just happened there.
The gang leader with the sponge records and an enormous amount of time in prison.
Again,
Go ahead. Let me finish, please.
Yep.
Who other than Korey Alwood fits that description that you're talking about?
I would say plenty of them.
Okay,
I'd say plenty of them.
Okay. Do you know of anyone else other than Korey that fits that description?
Well, I don't know any other specific, but I am sure there's plenty of them because I've read about it. So I'm going off of information that it's no type in this situation with town marshals, and you'll read about it everywhere. You'll read about little towns that found out that their town marshal or one of their reserves has served prison time. They had no idea. He was such a nice guy, but he had been in prison for, you name it. It's just, this is common. So again, apparently Korey just lands in exactly the element of people that I'm talking about. So
this isn't an element. This is specific elements that you mentioned.
Yeah,
that are very specific.
they are, and they have occurred over time, and you can go read about it.
Okay. Well, you said, where did you read about someone that fits this description? Since you said you read about it, do you have that document?
I said I have read about these type of things.
Where
small towns find out that they have had one of their deputies or
he continues saying the same thing here.
Doesn't.
All right. So in this statement, I've not been able to find anybody that fits this description that you gave. Are you saying that, other than Korey, excuse me, are you saying that you read something online?
John seems like a Redditor.
That fits this description that you gave.
I have already said what I said about that multiple.
I've already said what I've already said.
Have these documents that you're referring to. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Yes,
Okay.
Diane.
And the only person that actually talked to you about someone that fits this description was Chris Martin talking about Korey Alwood. Is that fair?
Well, I want to clarify then if that's the way the question's going to go. I said I don't have these documents. I don't have these documents in hand.
I want you guys to listen to this probable cause
information in my mind that I have reviewed and read
statement
that fits this narrative. And yes, Chris Martin talked to me about Korey Alwood. So those both are fair statements.
Okay.
I don't know. No, I think I thought that same thing. I don't think he lost a tooth. I think he just has a high like canine, and it looks like it. I think he's got all his teeth.
And in the statement that you've made to Wish TV, you didn't say, or did you say that this is just an example? I'm just saying this as an example.
The record will reflect what I said.
Do you need probable cause?
Listen.
To use law enforcement resources to investigate private citizens.
Calls for speculation. Objection calls for legal.
No, it doesn't. He should have a specialty in this.
And
well, it's not speculation, obviously, because he's a
sorry.
law enforcement
Objection
officer.
relevance.
Okay. Well, go ahead and answer, Sheriff.
Okay. Repeat the question for me again.
Do you
I
need
forgot what probable cause
law
is.
enforcement resources to investigate citizens?
I wasn't using law enforcement resources to investigate citizens.
I wasn't asking what you were doing.
I may have broke up. That's not what the question was. My question is, do you need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate private citizens?
Objection calls for legal conclusion. You can answer if you know the answer.
Yeah. You should know the answer, being a law enforcement officer. I said you should know the answer, being a law enforcement officer.
Yeah, well, first of all, I said I didn't use law enforcement resources to do that.
Yeah. That's not the damn question. Forget Korey. Forget what you did with Korey. As a law enforcement officer, Mr. Sproles, do you need probable cause to investigate an American citizen? Do you need probable cause to take further steps in an investigation? Can you just start tearing through people's houses? You know, good God.
Yeah, I didn't ask you if you did. I said, basically, I'm asking you what the laws. Do you need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate private citizens?
I guess it would depend on the specific situation. So.
Okay, what's the situation?
You're the one asking the question. I don't know.
You don't know if you need probable cause?
No, you just said what's the situation. I said there.
This next conversation literally could have taken place at the Muncie City Council meeting. This is as dumb as this is like goes up there with what the definition of is. What is the definition of or? What is the situation? I don't know what the situation is. You asked me about the situation. No.
I don't. You're asking me to speculate on a certain situation.
Well, you're the one that said it depends on the situation. I'm not a law enforcement officer, so I don't know the situations. That's why I'm asking you a question.
Okay, then I
thought you being a sheriff and a graduate of the police academy, you would know the law.
I would think you being an attorney.
Objection argumentative.
Yeah. So is your answer, you don't know if you need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate private citizens?
I'm just going to say that, and it's the same as your answer. You said you don't know either, so I guess we're going to go with the same answers on it.
I didn't say I didn't know. Well, if I did say that, I misspoke. But what I'm saying is I don't know the situation because you said you don't know the situation, so I don't know the situation. Because you said it depends on the situation, so I don't know the situation you're referring to.
He answered the question. You asked him if you have to have probable cause to do research and on a private citizen, and he said it depends on the situation, such as if there are accident circumstances.
Right, and then I asked him, what's the situation, and then he said I think he may have asked me what situation I'm talking about. And I'm like, what? I don't know. Tell me. He's the law enforcement officer.
Well, there could be a million different situations. Do we want to start with? Come on.
Your
Mark.
question is: are there situations in which you don't need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate a private citizen?
I'm going to say.
Well, it wasn't, but it can be.
You can answer his question.
He's asking you what the question was.
No, I thought he asked you the question.
No, so I'm asking you to clarify your question. When you said what situation,
clarify the question.
Is your question what situations are there where you don't need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate a private citizen?
Well, that wasn't my question. But if you want me to ask that question, I can ask that question. What situations are there where you don't need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate private citizens?
So if you're investigating a private citizen in a investigatory, obviously a law enforcement manner, you do need probable cause.
Ding, 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 ding.
The way that question
ding, 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 ding.
Out of whack is, bringing it up, inferring that I am using.
No, the way it got out of whack is Mark asking idiot.
Using law enforcement to I'm not investigating Korey Alwood. So that
wasn't my question.
He didn't even ask that, bro.
That wasn't my question. No, it wasn't. I have it written down, and when you get the transcripts, you'll see my question was very specific. Do you need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate private citizens? That was the question.
I just thought that was hilarious. He didn't understand.
I don't recall that I did anything when I found that out. I guess I would have nodded my head.
And you're the sheriff of Henry County? Right?
Asked and answered.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. And Greensboro, you said it is in Henry County?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And earlier, I think you said that you thought you had because you're a sheriff of Henry County, that you had some kind of personal, or not personal, or professional interest in people trying to become law enforcement officers in Henry County that don't match the description that you approve of, right?
Yes.
So, but you're saying once you found out that
he
was trying or attempting to become a law enforcement officer inside Henry County, you're saying you didn't act on that?
I'm saying I don't recall exactly what happened, and I'll be happy to talk about if you have other information. I'll be happy to talk about it. So I don't recall precisely what I did, and but I'm happy to talk about whatever I did.
Okay. Do you think that this is something that you would take action on, or you would just let it go in one ear and out the other?
I depending on the situation. So I possibly did take action on, and you could probably enlighten me on whether I did or not. I'll be happy to talk about it.
All right. Did you know? Well, did Chris Martin tell you that Korey was an active gang member, or I guess he
not that I won't even ask that question. Let me answer that question for you. Not that I recall.
Okay. He just told you that he's
Josh,
talking to Aryan Brotherhoods and putting money on their books.
I believe that's what the record will reflect that I said.
Okay. All right, I'm going to try to share my screen.
I don't know if anybody else that put it out other than Chris Bilbrey.
Okay. If you can you see it?
I can see a video next to. what looks like a transcript.
Yep.
I assume this is from your friend Kristopher Bilbrey's post.
The town hall meeting.
I don't know if anybody else that put it out other than Chris Bilbrey.
Okay. Let me know if you can hear it.
That have multiple arrests. One of these state police officers knows very well that there is a very serious issue.
I can't hear it.
Can't hear it.
No, but I mean the record will reflect. I would assume we could roll on with it.
We can roll on with it. I said whatever stupid bullshit I said there. I agree. I said it. That's me. When in my happier days, when I was less plump.
What convicted
dude,
felon town
Jenna,
marshal in the picture
no question.
who served time.
Weird. It's weird.
Behind bars.
Yes, that's what you said.
That we have pictures of in a law enforcement uniform and jail uniform.
Yeah, we talked about that. We're moving on here.
We're sick and tired of these little tales. You've already been arrested for impersonating.
Yes,
I'm not
smart.
trying to be ugly. I'm care about you. I'm not just. They're the citizens, man. They're the citizens.
Hey, look, we're all up there. He thinks about you and he hates you just as much as he does me, and he probably talks about you in other situations. He talks about Korey. He talks about Brian. I'm sure he talks about Roger Humphreys. I'm sure he talks about the other Roger, the dance guy. I'm sure he talks about Marquette Neal. I'm sure he talks about literally everybody. And it just floats around. I think that might be what's going on. He's harboring too much hate in his body.
Not regarding Korey. That's regarding Alvante that you're referring to.
Oh yeah, he doesn't like Alvante Riddick.
He got arrested for impersonating after that, I hear.
Some weird shit happened. I don't know that it went down like that. I'm pretty sure that you guys went and arrested him on a warrant that was already served. I'm pretty sure that you showed up to Alvante's house. You opened his door. You put him in handcuffs. You took him to jail. You booked him into jail. And then, and only after all of that, you found out, gee, the warrant that we just served had already been served. So, hey, it's been a minute since I was in my law enforcement days, but I don't ever remember arresting somebody twice for the same situation that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. Castle Lord, he was just running there. There had been a call earlier in the day where they were dealing with a suicidal subject and they couldn't find her. And then all of a sudden he just gets on and he's like, hey, I'm running Signal 10 through Wayne County. So he was already into Wayne County running lights and sirens. That's what Signal 10 means. He's like, I'm looking for a suicidal subject and we're hearing that she's in Ohio. And he continued to do that for several hours, only coming back to Henry County after 3 or 4 hours of doing God knows what. And that answers a question that Castle Lord had asked earlier right here. That's the reason I'm saying that right now. And Heather, thank you for this membership. Thank you. That's great. Thank you.
A guy that we were watching, who is a known gang member, trying to infiltrate.
He's trying to infiltrate.
Monitoring.
He's not trying to he says it's stupid, and I can't think. He's not trying to infiltrate. He's not trying to infiltrate. He's trying to infiltrate. Pragmatically.
There is a nationally recognized gang.
Nationally recognized
who
gang.
has
member.
The goal to infiltrate small town departments. We know of a.
We know of a little floating John Sproles over here.
Gang member, a gang leader who has had expunged records, enormous, it has spent an enormous amount of time in prison.
So, Sheriff, in regards to this statement, you said that we are watching. Who are you watching?
So I guess in that statement, I was just simply referring to the state police, and when I said that, and what they said about Korey Alwood.
So he lied?
Okay, so
he lied in the interview?
So when you're saying we were watching, you were actually talking about not you specifically, but the state police watching Korey Alwood.
I was using just general terms of we as law enforcement.
Well, okay, but the reference that you just said was the nationally known gang leader was what Chris Martin from the state police told you that they were watching him.
I don't remember anything about a nationally known gang leader, but maybe that's what was said. I didn't hear that. But yeah, I was referring to just the information from the state police that they provided, and they were, because I wasn't watching Korey Alwood, so.
Right.
Great.
Get that one to play.
Yeah.
Technical difficulty. And I'm going to go down to around I think it's the 29-minute mark of that interview.
Could you be specific on the date and the episode number that you're playing?
307 is I'm assuming that's the episode number that
you're playing.
Which one?
Mark of
what this is?
I'm going to go down to around this is the what we talked about earlier, the Boss Hog podcast that you gave, and I'm going to go down to around I think it's the
episode 307. I want to look that up. Okay, that's good.
The podcast, and it says 307, so I'm assuming that's the episode number.
That is good, Stumblefoot.
Because it says 3.
That I've got more going on than that.
Know the date you gave that interview, Sheriff? Because I don't see it on their actual. Okay.
Come on, man. I ain't that. I've got more going on than that.
Yeah. But it is episode 307, guys, and that's how it's labeled too. So we can find it from there. And it was in Discovery.
Okay.
And saying, hey, we can provide you we can provide a police department for this town. We would like to start a police department. And you can just pay us $1 a year and we'll provide 24-hour coverage. And
so it's like a sales pitch, essentially.
It is a sales pitch. And I want to make this really, really clear to our people listening. That sounds
to all two of you.
It's happening. I have facts on
Okay, I'm going to stop right there just for the record. It's clear that was you actually talking, saying about the town marshal program, right?
Yes, that was me speaking about people going around trying to start police departments. And I know multiple little towns where people have gone in and done this and were successful in starting. So that right there is nothing specific to anybody. That's, again, generalized. This is why this system is such a joke. I know multiple people, so I'm just putting out that warning that there's literally people going around asking little town marshals or little town councils if they could start a police department for them. It's happened several times in my county.
Okay, and
Yeah.
the other voice that we heard was somebody from the Boss Hog program, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now you said you had facts on these people.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
What facts?
Are these written down facts?
No, these are just known facts. And one of the examples is the little town of Greensboro that I've just got multiple examples of all of these things. And the little town of Greensboro, they never had a police department. They've got 130 occupants in the town. The town's 71 acres. Some joker came in there, and he's the guy that was on the video that got taken down. You've seen it. And talked to his buddy, the town council, into starting a police department. They've got about 30 police officers now in that little town.
There was a problem.
And
I
the
agree.
one dude that was there on that video, he's since been fired because he's a thief and stole $40,000 from the town. It's a joke, man. This stuff hypes me up. It's a joke. It's sad to watch. And so what you just played, that happens. I know multiple cases of that. It has nothing to do with your client.
So, the one thing you're referring to in this video are just known facts that are just out there, but it's not anything that you have written down, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
People trying to start police departments. I've got body camera footage of people saying, "Well, I'm kind of a cop. We're trying to start a police department."
There's a difference.
And I also this is one of the biggest concerns. One of the biggest concerns, and I want to be careful. What all information that I give here? It's very interesting.
Yeah, isn't that right, Mary? That's very true.
And you hear people say, "How'd you hear what he said?" He said,
"Seems like conjuring to me."
We're dealing with a whole lot more information than they are. They have very limited information, and so there are some huge concerns. There's some realities out there where there are well-known, nationally known violent gangs that have a goal of infiltrating small town police departments.
He just cannot not say that. Infiltrating.
Okay,
That's
so you said
nuts.
you know this as a fact. Okay. Other than the Aryan Brotherhood, what nationally known violent gang is trying to infiltrate the small town police department in Henry County?
As I said just earlier, you asked about Chris Martin, the state police officer, whether I trust him. Yes, I trust him.
Is he in a gang?
And so I'm simply relaying information from Chris Martin there.
Oh, okay. Which is basically about the Aryan Brotherhood, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
So you are talking about Korey Alwood.
Didn't say anything about Korey.
I didn't say you did, but I'm just saying
you didn't say anything about him. You're just talking about him, but you didn't say
was a member of the Aryan Brotherhood, right?
That is what I understood. Yes.
Okay. As a matter of fact, he mentioned that he was a leader there. He wasn't just a member. He was like a leader.
I don't know. The record would reflect. I can't remember that, but if that's what I said, that's what I said.
Well, okay.
I'm not just a customer, but I'm not just the president. I'm also
and trying to scare people. This happens. We know that people have wound up with badges who are hardened criminals.
Yeah,
and
we've got one on screen.
How does the police department get started?
Okay.
It's crazy that people wind up with badges.
I want to go back
places like this.
Did you know that Korey was an officer in like town marshal in Grant County?
I did not know that. I know what you know that I know from the guy that I talked to up there.
I know what you know that I know.
Legitimately or not, I don't know that.
Okay. Do you know? Are you a member of the Indiana Sheriff's Association?
I am.
Okay. Do you know that they had Korey Alwood as a guest speaker?
I surely wasn't there, so I don't know. I don't know that.
Okay.
They did. And here is the thing from Grant County Sheriff's Department, correctional officer with the Grant County.
Do you have any picture of Korey Alwood?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Sheriff, have you told me everything that you did in regards to Korey Alwood in this case?
I've told you everything that I have recalled that I did. Yes, sir.
Okay. And everything that you said?
Yeah, that I recall that I said. Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then have you mentioned all the people that you've talked to about this? Other obviously excluding your attorney because of attorney-client privilege, but have you?
I have mentioned all that.
You're muted. You're muted, counselor.
This situation.
You're muted.
I was referring to all the people that you talked to about this. You mentioned
they can't hear you.
That's what I was referring to.
Okay.
How long is it going to be?
It's your position basically that there is
yeah, right.
Back up a little bit.
What is going on right now?
That there's not really any other emails except for what you've already provided in regards to the news.
As best as I can recall, or as best as I would know, that would be accurate.
Okay.
Eating.
No, I know you've already answered that. My question now is, do you think that the Indiana Sheriff's Association is a reputable organization, law enforcement organization?
Object to the relevance, but you can answer.
Yeah. I do, but I'm just, I guess I'm thrown on the fact that he spoke at a Indiana Sheriff Association meeting, and I would like to know when that took place and where, because I'm just not recalling that.
It was in Steuben County.
Yeah.
I want to say it was earlier this year. I don't have the exact date.
It was an Indiana Sheriff's Association meeting.
Well,
we can ask in discovery, and they can.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's on your Facebook page, and it was with like a youth camp. I know that they probably. I don't know this for a fact. I'm assuming that the Indiana Sheriff's Association has multiple meetings or something, right?
They have different meetings, yeah.
Okay.
You say this is on my Facebook page?
The Indiana Sheriff, it's on the Indiana Sheriff's Association, but it's on Korey's Facebook page. I may have misspoke when I said on your Facebook page, but my understanding is when you said you're a member of the Indiana Sheriff's Association, that would be on your Facebook page, or is that on your Facebook page? You being a member of the Indiana Sheriff's Association?
Not that I'm aware of. It could be, but
okay.
I don't know of it.
Okay, but yeah, so I can get you the date.
Yeah, he shows up to those meetings acting like a complete ass. I've heard from sheriff's deputies. I've heard from sheriffs from all over, and they laugh at Sproles. They think he's just a complete idiot. They talk about him. It almost makes you feel sorry for the guy. I'll be honest. It's hard. It's crazy to say that, but it almost feels like they're really just dogpiling on him because he is such an idiot. He is an easy target. And so, yeah.
Obviously contact the Indiana Sheriff's Association, but it was in Steuben County.
Yes,
it was on
Heather.
Fort Wayne News. But anyway, you answered my question. You said that you thought the Indiana Sheriff's Association was a reputable organization.
Right.
And with that, I don't have any more questions for you.
I've just got a couple follow-up questions just for clarity's sake. In the town marshal meeting, there was a statement about we have a picture. Did you show a picture during that meeting?
I did not.
And during the Boss Hog podcast, you were talking about a town that some people had gone to and tried to form a police department. And was that the same that was on the Wish TV news story?
Yeah, and it sounded like I think it was that he played a video there that was not of me. It was, I believe that was the town that they were themselves saying that somebody came and tried to start a police department. In fact, I believe it was Korey. And so I believe they're the ones that was putting that information out. That wasn't a video of me there.
So the people that were mentioned, were you aware of them prior to going on the Wish TV broadcast?
I don't believe that. I don't know. I can't say on the timing. So I don't want to interject on the timing there. I guess the record would show on what the timing was of those items.
And did you show a picture of anyone during the Wish TV broadcast?
I did not.
Did you provide them with any videos or anything part of that broadcast?
I did not.
I don't have any other questions for you.
Okay, I have a couple follow-ups. Sheriff, I believe you mentioned that there are 2 people that went to the town to try to start a police department. Correct?
I was just listening to that video that you played. That's what they indicated.
Okay. Did you ever mention that there?
Yeah, but I've heard him talk about this.
Trying to go start a police department.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I've heard him talk about this.
And how long? Well, the interview you gave to Wish TV, they didn't play everything you said, right?
I'm not aware of whether they did or not.
I believe in one of your discovery responses, you said that there were 2 people that tried to start a
well, that video, I believe, said those town board members, I believe they're the ones that said 2 people came in trying to start a town a police department.
That's correct. And one of them was Korey, right?
Yeah, I if I was aware of that, I forgot. I could have been, but I guess I'm aware of it now.
And the other person who was not Korey did not have any criminal record.
I don't know. I assume you know who it was. I'm not sure that I know who it was.
Oh, yes.
He's got one now, though. I believe he's one of your clients.
No, not the person I'm referring to.
That's, like I said, it's just a lot of this stuff going on. It's just widespread, and that's why.
That's right.
I was warning about it.
So widespread that you can't find anybody that fits the description you gave other than Korey Alwood.
I've never tried to find anybody. It's, as I have said, it's very, you just do some Google searching tonight and you'll read horror stories from little towns that found out their town marshal was a convicted felon and had spent time in jail or prison. So that's not uncommon.
All right. You have anything on that, Michael?
And that's it. That's it. It goes on for a few more minutes. They ask questions about if there's anything else they want to say, and they fight whether about that's okay or not a question to ask, and that's essentially the end of it. I will not today, not this evening, not tonight. I will upload this. I will upload that deposition to our channel just as it is, uncut from start to finish, and you can go and you can watch it. It'll be in real time, 1-to-1. It'll be one times play, so it will play for 2 hours 29 minutes and 33 seconds, and you can watch it there if you are so inclined. I would recommend listen. I've listened to that this is the third pass through now, third or fourth pass through. I would, if you live in Henry County, specifically if you live in Henry County, people outside of Henry County, if you're interested, have at it. If you live in Henry County, I would definitely give it a pass through. You're getting ready to be electing a sheriff for Henry County, and John Sproles is it now. He doesn't deserve to be. He should not be reelected, and we have our work cut out for us. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Sproles is insane. From my point of view, just as a statement, I feel like Sproles is nuts because of the behavior that he has engaged in, because of the things that he says, because of his behavior. I think that he is wildly obsessed with me. I think it's funny that people say, oh, you're obsessed with Sproles. But then I go 6 months without talking about him. If he sits down and shuts up and doesn't do anything, I don't give a shit about Sproles. I don't think about him. I don't talk about him. When he does something, when the people in his department do something, he's relevant. We talk about it. I also talk about the mayor of Muncie, the people in Winchester, the people in Indianapolis, people in Madison County, the people wherever. I talk about political figures. That's what we do here. I know people don't like it, but this is my job, folks. This is what I do for a living. Okay? I know it pisses people off. I know people don't like it. You don't pay my bills, so it's none of your concern, really. This is what I do, and I'm good at it. And so I guess the fact that people are pissed off lets me know that I'm good about it. So that is what it is. Please share this video with folks. Share this video. Share the deposition with folks. I will link the two videos together in the descriptions once they occur. So please take a look at that. And we'll go from there. We will be back tomorrow night. Tomorrow is Thursday. We will be here tomorrow. Catherine will be a guest tomorrow. We will talk about the fact that she filed, and we'll do that. And I saw somebody earlier say, I can't deal with her being on once a week. Catherine's not on once a week. Maybe twice a month she's on. And I know Catherine can be difficult to deal with, difficult to take. Her heart is in the right place. She's doing the right thing. I'm backing her run for Senate. And that's the thing. We're going to help her. She's doing the right thing. She's been involved with this for a while now, but she's still newer to it. We're working on things. She's getting better. She's doing things. We're going to back her here because the District 25 needs a change in the state Senate. And so we're gonna help her. We're gonna help her do what we can do. We're gonna be here. It sounds like they've got some information that she maybe have been challenged already. I think that is comical. It speaks volumes, and so we'll deal with that tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow at 9 p.m. We'll have another great show. It'll be fantastic. God bless each and every one of you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday, and we will see you back here, and that will be episode 600, the big 600. Amazing. You guys take care, and we'll see you then.